All righty. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may find yourselves. God bless you guys. God bless you. Salam al-Masih. Salam. Shalom to all of you. I'm adding to the topic today because yesterday we talked about a bewitched man. The question then would be so clear. If Muhammad was bewitched, how can we take a religion from a man that's bewitched? Because we just established yesterday that we can't trust a bewitched man. So God bless you guys. Good morning, good afternoon. From wherever you may find yourselves. On that, we also need to remember that there's lots of dawah drama going on. A lot of dawah drama. A lot of you guys aren't privy to the stuff that I'm privy to, which is crazy. I wish I could just share more. I'm not even joking. I wish I could share more, but there's lots going on behind the scenes regarding this dawah drama. I posted a video today with a guy called Jake, the Mutta physician, the Mutta guy. He called out a guy called Hamza from Hamza's Den, called him out, told him clearly that he is not a good Muslim. Imagine that. Imagine being called. He's telling you can't do dawah. Just stop doing dawah. Tells him clearly, man, why are you doing dawah? What is wrong with you that you doing dawah? You can't make this up. I mean, this drama goes on and on and on. Of course, you've got the Muslims that are in the chats already. God bless you and welcome. You've noticed the Muslims have already put in verses of the Bible. Go to the Bible. Go to the Bible. He said, and again, notice what he said. He said, go to John. The wrong book, man. John cooks you guys. Go to John. Yes, guys, I've posted many videos on my page, many on the YouTube, on the TikTok, many on the TikTok, and again, all the videos on the YouTube are there for you to enjoy. So please go back, enjoy them. But when it comes to the dawah drama, there's lots and lots going on regarding the dawah drama. Muhammad Zaid Khan said, I am what? What did he say? James getting mad. How am I getting mad, dude? I'm not bewitched. I'm not going locos. I'm not going mal in the cop. Come on, man. So I'm going to go to John 8:40, purely because we have a Muslim in the chat. He is asking me to go to John 8:40, and he will obviously have an explanation regarding John 8:40. Not only that, remember that if we go to the Bible to understand John 8:40, that's going to explain how the Quran is, I don't know, whatever the Quran is. Okay, but right now, as I said, guys, we're trying to understand when it comes to understanding the religion of Islam, we're trying to make it make sense. We found out yesterday that Muhammad was a bewitched man, and he's the one that gave us, thank you, Cheryl. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was nice. So as I said, the guy said that we need to read John 8:40, but again, what I'll do is I'll do one better for you, man. Hang on a second. We've got Bando UFO. He wants to come up. Muhammad, he should come up since he is the one that's saying that, we're in a bad state. But let me just bring up my man Bando. So we haven't even reached the started. Where is he? Where'd he go? He's gone. Okay. So remember now, the Muslim, the first thing they do to defend a bewitched prophet is to run to where? To the Bible. So again, they run to the Bible. How does that help us understand a man that is bewitched? Now remember, the guy said go to John 8:40. In John 8:40, in context, you would start at 37 and read to 41. It says, if you know that you are Abraham's descendants, but you seek to unalive me, because my word has no place in you. Now notice now, we're finding a reason as to why they wanted to unalive Jesus. But he wasn't unalived. Let's continue. I speak what I have seen with my Father. So hang on a second. I speak what I have seen with my Father. So Jesus was with the Father, and together they were observing stuff. I'm just going to address this for the peanut gallery. And he says, and you do what you have seen with your father, meaning because you've seen your father sin and you've seen your father do these bad things, you have been joining your father in this. And let's continue. They answered and said to him, Abraham is our father. Jesus said to them, if you were Abraham's children, you would do the works of Abraham. But you seek to unalive me. What? They want to unalive Jesus? Why they want to do that, man? Why they want to do that? A man who has told the truth, which I heard from God. Abraham did this. Why am I getting already, guys? Man, you guys are the weakest bunch of cowards out there, without a doubt. But you seek to unalive me, a man who has told you the truth, which I heard from God himself. Abraham did not do this. You do the deeds of your father, meaning that these people want to continue in sinful behavior. But remember, now we have to understand who is talking to and what is implying. But again, notice, Harun, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid, man. You asked me to go there. But again, and you guys get cooked everywhere you guys go. It must be so humiliating. So humiliating. Moving back to the topic itself. The topic itself, thank you very much, Cairo. Moving back to the topic itself, yesterday we tried to understand whether Muhammad was bewitched, whether he was speaking from, the words of God. And again, if he speaks the word of God, then we can trust Islam. But we have evidence that according to the Quran itself, that Muhammad himself was claiming to be a bewitched person or a possessed person. Now, who is the one that bewitched him or possessed him? Obviously, it can't be God, because God does say clearly that he will protect his people. He will protect them, but according to the Quran itself, Allah only corrects people that is with him, in him, and sharing the true message, not changing the message. Now, look again. Remember yesterday we were actually able to go to the Quran with a guy called Badis. So Badis, when we go to the Quran, he agrees that the Quran makes clear statements that Allah will protect those in him, those that don't change his message, right? So now, if Muhammad is a bewitched man giving us corrupted scripture, and Satan is able to talk through him, then the question is, then why should I trust Islam? How do I know that Muhammad wasn't bewitched when he gave us verses? Because again, remember what Galatians 1 says. Let me go to Galatians 1 for you guys. 1:8 and 1:9. Galatians 1:8. How is that possible, guys? I've got hate speech twice already. MashaAllah. Let me come back with my other account. Man. You guys. Sorry, guys. I'm just going to come back in with my backup account. Okay, I apologize for that, but unfortunately, I was hit twice already they are trying to hit me with hate speech. So I've got 3 restrictions in a couple of minutes, 5 minutes maybe. I've been live. Can't make this up. So moving on, notice again, we are able now to go to the Quran itself. Let me just make sure that looks okay there. 1 second. Oh, my Lord. Alrighty. So you guys can hear me, so that's good. So now all I'm trying to understand is that if we, does it sound better, guys? Does it sound better? Phil? It's crazy. But anyways, we good. Now, again, going back to the Quran, guys, the Quran makes a few claims about the prophets and who he protects according to his religion. This is why when we go to the Quran, it tells us clearly that if Muhammad was outside of what Allah was teaching, then Allah will not protect him. All we're saying is that if Allah is not protecting Muhammad, then Muhammad is susceptible to the influences of Satan. Notice that we just repeating what Allah says now. Allah says that I will only protect you if you are in me. For that, we can go to the Quran again. And I'm going to show you guys from according to the hadiths and the tafsirs and the Quran that Muhammad was possessed. Yesterday, a guy called Rob Christian was here. For those that are not following him, shout out to him. Give him a follow on Rob Christian on YouTube and TikTok. But watch this. According to the Quran, it says clearly, indeed, my servants, no authority will you have over them except those who follow you of the deviators. Notice what the Quran claims. The Quran tells Muhammad in Surah 1542, the Quran is quite clear when it says to Muhammad or to the people that my slaves, my servants, he says you will have no authority over them unless they either follow you or deviators. Now, in this verse, it's telling us that Allah will protect them as long as they are with him. He will have no authority over them except those who follow you. Now, notice again, I want you to go to Galatians. Galatians 1:8. Galatians 1:8 says, but even if we or an angel from heaven should preach to you a gospel contrary to the one we've preached to you, let him be accursed. And we have said before, so now I say again, if anyone is preaching to you a gospel contrary to the one you received, let him be accursed. And the Bible is saying clearly, don't believe just all, you need to do your discernment. Don't believe every spirit that comes to you. You got to test the spirit. Now, Muhammad, not knowing what a spirit was, not understanding whether an angel is an angel or a devil is a devil. Remember, he couldn't tell the difference in the cave. He thought he was possessed. That's the reason why he wanted to unalive himself. So all I'm doing now is reading what the Quran is teaching. The Quran teaches us in Surah 15:42 that no one will be tempted by Satan as long as they are with or in Allah. But this verse is pointing to that if you're not following Allah and you're following Shaitan, then he will have influence over you. Right? I need to have some water. I don't know, the last couple of days, man, my throat has been crazy. Okay, notice Harun says that the Christian salvation is in 2 Chronicles. So you didn't even say go to the Quran for your salvation. Well done, Harun. Well done. So this verse is explicit in explaining itself. Now, again, if Muhammad was following Shaitan or under the authority of Shaitan, that means Islam is coming from Shaitan. Therefore, how can I trust Islam? If I can't trust Muhammad, and he gave me Islam, then I can't trust Islam because he gave it to us. Notice that. You've got to look at the founder of the religion. Muhammad is claiming to be the founder of Islam. He starts Islam for the Arabs. He's introducing it. Yet he himself is telling us, imagine Allah speaks to Jibril. Jibril speaks to Muhammad. Muhammad speaks. Muhammad says, Allah will have no authority over those that follow Allah, except those that follow Shaitan. And then boom shakalaka, guess what? Next thing we know is that he is the one being influenced by Shaitan. So again, my question is, can we trust a bewitched man? Because if I can't trust the bewitched man, then why should I trust Islam? Because remember, when Muhammad supposedly split the moon with no witnesses, nobody was there. Again, bewitched. In Ibn Ishaq's book, he says clearly, when he tells the people that he flew on the winged donkey to the heavens, his wife says to him, please don't tell the people that, because you never left your bed. You were in bed the whole night. Hang on a second, guys. I'm getting another one. Oh, man. Just let me get rid of these, please. 1 second. Sorry, guys, but this is normal strategy of Muslims when they can't debunk you or they can't do anything else, and they have to go somewhere else and try to report you. So now, again, we're just upping it a bit. If we can't trust Muhammad, we can't trust Islam because we don't know. Remember what it says when it comes to Muhammad in the cave. When he was in the cave, Muhammad couldn't tell the difference between an angel or a devil, and he was squeezed, and he didn't understand what was happening to him, and this caused him to want to unalive himself several times. So this goes all the way to the start, right from the beginning, because it says that he was in the cave by himself, and this thing came to him and said, read. Now, if the Quran is a book, Muhammad can't read. He's told to read. He gets squeezed. He runs home. He's cover me. He runs to Khadija, panicking, sweating. He's nervous. But it doesn't start there. When Muhammad was a child, he's how do you say, he's nurse. He's what did he call it? Some kind of nurse. That nurse that looks after the babies. They didn't want to have anything to do with him because they thought he was possessed. Because remember, Muhammad was claiming that 2 men came and opened up his chest and were washing his insides, and he was, I believe I read a book called The People versus Muhammad, and it's a psychological analysis of Muhammad and his character. The wet nurse, thank you so much. So a psychological analysis of Muhammad, the book is called The People versus Muhammad, is so clear that Muhammad had problems. I mean, this dude must have been epileptic. He was, this dude, he was, come on, man, this dude, he had some problems. This dude had some problems. Lots of problems. Anyways, now as a child, he's demon possessed, or he thinks he was. And then we go to the cave where he's receiving these inspired messages from this thing. He doesn't know who it is yet, because remember, it was never introduced to Muhammad. It was never introduced to Muhammad. Yet Muhammad believes and describes this thing as something that attacked him. It wasn't a gentle, nice, it attacked him. And because it attacked him, it tells us that Muhammad, we need to question who this thing was that was visiting him. That's number one. The question would be, when we go to Mishkat al-Masbi and we read from his book, and Muhammad is explaining when Muhammad was possessed by the spirit, he says, indeed, I saw him while the revelation descended upon him on an intensely cold day. Then it left him while his brow was steamed with sweat. Now, these are just examples of the unclean spirit that, talks about in Mark 5, for example, in the Bible, about foaming and grunting in Mark 9:20, which is exactly like Muhammad was. For example, guys, in according to Mizanul, it says, after the ascension of shivering and shutting his eyes, there used to come over him what resembled a swoon. His face would foam and he would roar like a young camel. Right? So now, again, this is in the Islamic scripture. But look what the Bible says in Mark 9:20. It says, when talking about a possessed boy, he was demon possessed. So she brought him. When the spirit saw Jesus, it immediately threw the boy into a convulsion. Now remember, Muhammad's having all these convulsions. So he throws Muhammad on the floor. He fell to the ground and rolled around, foaming at the mouth. Remember, it also says that he used to come over him and he would roar like a young camel. In Luke 9:39, it says, and the spirit seizes him and he suddenly screams out and it throws him into convulsions so that he foams at the mouth. It scarcely ever leaves him and is destroying him. So again, as I said, we can see evidence of a prophet of Islam again, with evidence of being possessed by the same demons described in the Bible. This is why when Ibn Ishaq says on page 345, come on, guys, seriously, man, stop, man. Seriously, stop. If you don't like the live, please leave. If you don't like the live, please, guys, leave. This is for educational purposes only. We're just reading what Islam has given us, and we are presenting it live on a screen. I'm just repeating what Islam has given me. Please, there's no need. If you don't like it, go find yourself a dawah drama. Go watch the dawah drama. Please, move on out. Ship out. That's all, man. Please, if you don't like it, leave. No need to keep reporting. Harun, I've had enough of you, dude. I'm going to send you back to your little corner just for a little while. Just stay there because it seems that you just you can't engage. So I'll send you on a little merry trip. For those that don't know, a guy called Ibn Ishaq, who gave us the earliest biography of Muhammad, and this came before the hadiths, before Islam got even more corrupted. Ibn Ishaq says that before the revelation first began to descend upon Muhammad, his friends feared that he was suffering from the evil eye, and that when it came upon him, almost the same illness attacked him again. On the authority of Abir, blah, 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 it stated that Muhammad said to Khadija, when I was alone, I heard a cry, "O Muhammad, O Muhammad." In tradition, it is stated that he said, I fear lest I should become a magician, lest one should proclaim me a follower of the jinn, and again, I fear lest there should be madness or demonic possession in me. Notice again, I'm just reading what was given to us. Ibn Ishaq is confirming that Muhammad thought that he was possessed, that he was losing his mind. And he said, after an session of shivering and shutting his eyes, there used to come over him what resembled a swoon. His face would foam and he would roar like a young camel. Vet them, that's right. So, just to make things clear, I didn't write this. I'm just reading this. So if the Muslims are going to be upset about me reading this, then be upset with Islam. If this is true that Muhammad was afraid of even being possessed, if he was truly afraid that he was bewitched, that there was a devil in him and he was losing his mind, and this is how inspiration came to him, can you imagine how this dude suffered for all the years that he was getting revelation, inspiration? Every time the guy got revelation or inspiration, this is what would happen to him. And because this is what would happen to him, can you imagine how badly he must have felt? He must have been so tired afterwards, so exhausted after this. But remember, it's Muhammad himself that concluded that he may be possessed by a demon, according to Ibn Ishaq. And remember what I said before, that all of these experiences, these examples, are in the Bible coming from unclean spirits. Also says that he became extremely heavy when he was having these little episodes. Now, again, guys, the point of this all is, if Muhammad truly was bewitched, according to the Islamic sources, the Sunni sources, because the Shia are embarrassed by this. The Shia have walked away thinking, ain't no way we're going to believe this nonsense. This is definitely absolute BS. We cannot believe this type of nonsense. So the Shias are like, nah. So how do we know how long Muhammad was bewitched for? Because remember, again, there's hadiths, and I'm going to go through them all. The hadiths are quite clear when it talks about Muhammad. It says, for example, and I'm repeating, this is like, repeat from yesterday as well, because I'm giving Muslims 2 days. I'm giving you a chance to listen to it the first day, to go and do the research, and then come back and say to me, no, you're wrong. He wasn't possessed. No, it only lasted for 6 seconds, 6 minutes, 6 hours, 6 days, 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years, or the entire time he was a prophet. Because again, if Islam is coming from a bewitched man, then why in the world would I trust Islam? Because he makes claims that are ridiculous. For example, the splitting of the moon. How do we know the man wasn't bewitched at the time of the splitting of the moon? Because it doesn't actually say he split the moon. Never once says that. It does talk about a prophet that jumped on a winged donkey, flew to Al-Aqsa Mosque that wasn't built, ties his horse, his donkey on this mosque that doesn't exist, and then flies up into the heavens and has conversations with all the prophets. How do I know that this wasn't someone that's bewitched, dreaming dreams, talking about dreaming dreams? Remember what the Bible teaches in the Deuteronomy 13 about the dreamer of dreams, the prophets that just come back and give you dreams. Oh, I was dreaming. Oh, it happened. This is why Ibn Ishaq said to his wife said to him, don't tell people that you flew on this donkey because you never left the bed. You haven't left, you've gone, you haven't been anywhere. So don't tell people this. Here we have this guy now saying that he flew a winged donkey. He split the moon. Later we find out, again, this is no evidence in the Quran. He had water coming out his fingers, but yet we've got no evidence of any of this. So most of this could have been just when he was, having one of these fits, while he was hallucinating, while he was bewitched. Because again, remember what his wives were saying, that this dude was dry humping sand dunes. He thought he was sleeping with his wives. Yeah, he was just like, banging away on anything that he found. He found a pillow and he dry humped it. So again, the wives are like, dude, what's wrong with this guy? They were witness at least to that, asking the question, what is wrong with this dude, man? He'd be sleeping with anything around here. He sees a little hump somewhere and he'd be mounting it. So the question was, how do we know that the rest of all the revelations and all the things he says he did aren't also part of this imagination of his? Because he was bewitched. How do we know that? Let's read a couple of more hadiths. Hadith goes like this. Sahih Bukhari. Magic was worked on the Prophet so that he began to fancy that he was doing a thing which he did not actually do. Now, notice what it says there, that he used to fancy doing a thing that he thought he was doing. So if this is true that he was, for example, dry humping sand dunes, this is another example that he was doing things that he didn't actually do. For example, flying to where'd he go? To man, I got put out now when I saw this dude come up.
What's going on, man?
Oh, bless you, my brother. How are you, man?
Man, I've been chilling. Can you hear me?
I got you, man. I can hear you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. I got this app recently, dude, where it's like it forces me to stay off social media. Um,
I saw you
this
and
ye
about that.
Yeah, because this app, dude, is just so freaking toxic, and it takes away like most of the stuff that you. Because I realized with this app, like you put more into it than you get out of yourself. So for me, like I've really been wanting to like dig deeper into, my own faith. So I've just been writing like a lot. I want to at least write 50 essays this year. Um, and I kind of just got tired of dealing with the Muslims. But
I, I understand you. I actually said, I don't know if you read the group thing. Anyway, I just, because you do get to a point where you are um, discouraged. You get frustrated, irritated. And I'll say this to everyone that's listening. You guys are with me more than I'm with my wife. I'm kidding. She says that. But my point is this: it gets to a point where, like, okay, in the last couple of days, we've had loads of Muslims coming up, and we've had long conversations, and it's and that's I'm glad, I'm happy with that. The problem is, it's draining, dude.
yeah, yeah, that's why it's like for me, like, I mean, I'm on in the morning sometimes, like Bear will go live and I'll join his panel sometimes because he typically does topics on the Trinity. So it's tangentially is related to our faith, and you have loads of people come up like agnostics and atheists, Muslims, whoever, and it kind of helps me because I'm typically the topics that they try to bring up the arguments I'm already writing something about anyways. But when the Muslims come up, dude, it's like it's just a complete the whole vibe just changes, bro. Like it's like you just can't even believe that these are real people, bro. Like, and once is cool, twice is all right, but three times I'm like, all right, bro. Like I can't, bro.
But
But I imagine that you got some crazy conversations with this topic, though.
well, this is day 2 on the topic. Yesterday was, can we trust the bewitched man? Today I'm just adding to it because if I can't trust the bewitched man, how in the world can I then trust Islam if it came from a bewitched man? And I've been presenting the case. I mean, yesterday we had a real good group of people come up, follow, and we've had the guy called Badis. So Badis came up and
Oh, okay, yeah, but he's the dude from Morocco, I think.
can't remember, but yeah, he's a solid guy. He's easy to have a conversation with. And even though he's the thing, and this is what gets me, man, the people see the problem. They see that he was bewitched. Rob Christian came up and Rob, provided us with a couple of on how long he was possessed for.
Yeah. Some people say 6 months or a year or something like that, right?
Yeah. So in that time, my question would be, is that when Muhammad was talking about splitting the moon or flying on the winged donkey? How do we take anything in the 6 months to a year as wahi? How do we know what he gave us was from God and not from Shaitan?
What do they say?
They can't answer. There's no answer. This is the checkmate dilemma, boom shakalaka, that gets them really to sit back and ask the question. Well, because they need to look back at themselves, asking or thinking about these types of topics. This is but it's an honest question. It's an honest question. If I can't trust Muhammad because he himself claims to be bewitched, he himself, as I said, Ibn Ishaq confirms it when Ibn Ishaq says that I feel I am possessed. And
Ibn Ishaq says that?
yeah, even Ibn Ishaq says, Muhammad said.
Okay.
He says, I fear lest I should become a magician.
Yeah, like a poet.
Yeah, let one should proclaim me a follower of the jinn. And again, I fear lest there should be madness or demonic possession in me. So again, how do you trust a guy, or how do you trust what the guy is going to give you if he has a history? Because remember, even as a child at 5, his wet nurse said this dude is possessed.
Is that Paul Bishop? يا أخي بقالنا كتير.
Hey, bro.
ازاي عامل ايه? Bro, what's going on, dude?
Not much, brother. How are you?
I'm good, man. It's been like a month since well, I think we've both been taking a break from this toxic app, so.
Yeah. It's well, I joined in different times too.
Okay.
Sorry,
James, James, I'm gonna tell you what they're gonna say to that. Right? I'm gonna I'm for real. Most likely they're going to go to Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah 106, where it says, what is that? The verse of Nasakh Mansukh, like that he abrogates certain verses. Because if you go to chapter, man, it's been a minute. I'm starting to forget the chapters now. What is that? 2252, James? About
Yes,
yeah.
yes, 22:52. Every prophet was tricked by the Satan, and Satan put something on his tongue, and Allah remove it. Blah blah blah. Yes.
MashaAllah, brother. What's going on, man? It just came up out of nowhere.
Alhamdulillah, brother. I'm seeing the truth. I'm receiving hikmah from Allah.
That's funny, man. No, so like what they're gonna do is like they'll quote those verses and say, well, if he was and he received wahi, then we just abrogate it. But the problem that this is what I've always thought about that particular idea. The problem that abrogation, according to Islam, brings is that, okay, you're replacing it with something better, so it wasn't better the first time.
Well, let me just help you there. I mean, since we're looking at now the Quran, right? You went to 2:106 talking about abrogation and the God that can't make up his mind. Yesterday, I've got a couple of verses that I've been sharing with the people now. For example, Surah 15:42. Not sure if you know this, but in Surah 15:42, it actually says that indeed my servants, talking to Shaitan, my servants, no authority will you have over them except those who follow you of the deviators. So now, according to the Quran is saying clearly that Shaitan will have authority over nobody except if they follow Shaitan. So if Muhammad got possessed, if he got bewitched, what does that mean, guys? What does it mean if he got bewitched and he starts following Shaitan? It means he is a follower of Shaitan.
He was a real prophet, alhamdulillah. Sorry, bro. Sorry.
That's for sure. So I know that Amin hasn't heard that one. And then there's another one, guys. I'm going to read another verse to you guys, showing you that God will protect, Allah will protect, according to the Quran, those that follow him. And let me just go to this Quran. Oh, he's gone. Let me just go to Surah 16. And we'll go to 98. Because these verses are extremely important for those that haven't heard them or don't know this. Remember that Allah is claiming that he will protect those that follow him. And he will not protect those that follow Shaitan. Shaitan will be able to influence them and lead them astray. In 1698, it goes on to say, it says, so when you recite the Quran, seek refuge in Allah. I'll say that again. In fact, let me just see if Amin heard me the first time. Did you hear me 15:42, Amin?
Sorry, my wife called me right as you started talking. Say it again.
Man, kick out. Okay, watch this. In the Quran, in Surah 15:42, it says, indeed my servants, talking to Shaitan, you have no authority over them except those who follow you of the deviators. Right? Okay. So this is saying to Muhammad, if they follow me, you will have no influence over them. If they follow you, yes, you will have influence over them. So the only way Muhammad could be influenced by demonic spirits is if he is following them and not following Allah.
There's another verse in the Quran that says something similar, right? What is that? 16:198. Yeah.
And that's
is it 1698 through 101, right?
100, yeah, 101, 100. It says, so when you recite the Quran, seek refuge in Allah from the outcast Satan. Truly, he has no authority over those who believe and trust in their Lord. His authority is only over those who take him as a protector and those who take him as a partner.
Can you read it one more time? I'm just trying to.
So when you recite the Quran, seek refuge in Allah from the outcast Satan. Truly, he has no authority over those who believe and trust in their Lord, Allah. His authority, Shaitan's authority, is only over those who take him as a protector and those who take him as a partner.
The
I'll read
the interest.
it says, and when we replace one sign with another, and God knows best which he sends down, we say, you are only a fabricator. Nay, but most of them do not know.
One of the reason I asked you to read it again was so I could make sure I understood the position of the Quran correctly. What's really interesting is that it says, because I've heard Muslims say this, they'll say, well, when he's reciting Quran, then, you know, he's not going to be able to get influenced by Satan. So, you know, the Quran is what protects him. That's why they say, Paul, what is it again? I don't remember how they say
I'm
it.
sorry.
What's the phrase that they say before they read the Quran? The Muslims,
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
they said rajim. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
So their idea is like, okay, basically what that means is translating it, may God protect us from Satan, basically. But the problem is that's begging the question, because if Muhammad reads the Quran and that protects him from Satan, well, when he was reading the Quran the first time, he thought he was, but he was actually reading what Satan wrote for him. So how do you know that you're actually reading the Quran when you read the Quran? It's not until later that it's abrogated that you realize you weren't reading Quran. So that verse is like, it's circular. Like, this religion, man, is kind of insane when you think about it.
Yeah, so
Well, actually,
sorry, go on.
I have one more good argument. You know, when they say in the Bible, in the verse, like how the child grow in knowledge for the Jesus, in Gospel of Luke, as I recall it, the child is, you know, grow in knowledge by the time, etc. for the Jesus. So usually I'm a little bit rude with them, so said, well, divine, you know, the divine nature, whatever, filling the human nature with knowledge, human mind with knowledge. You have your prophet that was possessed by the jinn. Jinn is from fire. So jinn was filling with false information, false knowledge to your prophet, to his mind. So what's the problem? And usually they got, you know, pissed off and kick me out. So it's actually good stuff to refute this objection, you know.
I'll tell you what I asked Badis yesterday, which is really also a crazy question. Because the question was talking about shaitan and stuff. My question to him was, would a rational, normal, first my question was, what is, I'm not sure if it was Badis, maybe another guy, what is a jinn made of? What is the devil made of? And he said made of fire. So my question was, according to the hadith, when Muhammad claimed to choke the devil and want to tie him against the pillar of the mosque, does that sound like someone that is bewitched, someone that has lost their marbles?
Wait, what?
You don't
Say
know
that
that?
again?
Yeah,
No.
it's Sahih Hadith, bro.
Let me read it for you. This is Sahih Bukhari 1210. Sahih Bukhari 1210. The Prophet once offered prayer and said, Shaitan came in front of me and tried to interrupt my prayer, but Allah gave me the upper hand on him. I choked him. Now remember, the dude is made of fire. I choked him. No doubt I thought of tying him to one of the pillars of the mosque till you get up in the morning and see him. Then I remember the statement of Solomon, my Lord, bestow upon me a kingdom such as shall not belong to any other after me. Then Allah made him, Shaitan, return with his head down, humiliated. Does that sound like someone that is messed up in the head, having delusions or illusions, or, you know, what do you?
Someone.
Yep. Just to know, jinns are not made from the fire that can burn you. Jinns are made from some kind of different fire that nobody can basically warm on this fire. So just to know for the records, because probably they will try to catch you on this.
My whole
you know,
point is, it doesn't matter what they're created from. Are you able to hold a jinn? Is that fire something?
Of course not. Of course not.
So there we go.
Because they are not classical material beings. You cannot catch him literally.
Yeah, so when I asked the guy that came up, I said, is it possible to hold the fire that you spoke about? He said, no. So then how in the world are you going to choke him one and then tie him to a blooming mosque without the rope burning?
I mean, the whenever I'm like, bro, James, you always surprise me. Every time I listen to you talk about Islam, like you find just like the most insane stuff, dude. Like I, I didn't even know that hadith existed, and I've been studying Islam for like 5, 6 years. How in the world does that even make sense? Like, first of all, if you see Satan in front of you, why are you going to engage with him? Like that's the first thing. Like if I see Satan in front of me, however that may be, why would I engage with him? I don't understand.
But let's look on the other side of this. I mean, this is where the question is: would a sane person? Now, my whole thing is: can you imagine sitting down at the campfire with a bunch of people going, "Oh, I forgot to tell you guys this. Guess who I choked out last night?" You know, and the people must be looking at him thinking, "Come on, dude, seriously? Now you're choking out Satan?" This is why I'm saying, what type of man will walk around telling you, for example, I split the moon, if it's not messed up in the mind, without any evidence, without anyone to confirm what you've done? So if Muhammad has a history of being bewitched, how do you trust a bewitched man, not only with the stories he's given you, but with your salvation and the religion of Islam?
When you ask them this question about shaitan, what do they say? I'm just curious.
I think it's embarrassing for them to say much, so they will say Allahu Alam, or they'll say, "Oh, only it happened back then, so we don't know." They'll the excuses are weird, but it's not a solid excuse. They've never accepted it or addressed it, or they'll say, "I need to read more into it, or I'll get back to you about it," because it's the ridiculousness is on a whole different plateau. It's on a whole different level because, again, imagine sitting down next to a guy that's explaining to you how he tried to choke the devil last night and this morning and want to tie him up on the pole. It's like, come on, dude, seriously? Come on, man.
You ever had like
you have one more? Yeah, sorry, continue.
You ever had like okay, like James, what's the worst job you've ever had? If you can say. I'm just curious.
I cleaned out a garage for a guy that, I'm not even joking, in London. I cleaned out a garage for a guy that had about 40 undocumented people in the garage, and the stink and the dirt and the junk in there. Yeah, man, that was one
Perfect.
of the worst jobs I've ever had.
That's actually perfect for this analogy. Imagine the worst job you've ever had. And the example you gave was fantastic. Now, compare that to the best job you've ever had, or just even something slightly not as bad as the worst job. That's what it feels like every time I talk about Islam or I come onto like an Islamic topic live. It's like, bro, the most insane, horrible stuff you could ever think about or do. Then you get off the live and it's like, okay, why would I ever research this stuff? Like the insanity. Like I'm even starting to forget some Arabic now. Like Mike, like I had to ask Paul, like, how in the world, bro, does this make sense? And then you ask, like, watch this. Then you ask them to explain it, right? And they'll say, "Oh, what's the reductio?
Yeah.
The P and not P. What's the P and not P?" Like, bro, your prophet said he bound up Satan to a pillar. Like, make this make sense. I don't know, man.
Yeah, like P is the problem. That's marble fallacy. The problem is P, not like the deduction, but the problem is how you decide what is P, what is P1 or P2 or whatever.
That's right. So let me read
I
the
have one
again.
more. I have one more, James.
So go on.
You heard for Ayat al-Kursi, right?
Yeah.
Ayat al-Kursi or Ayat al-Kursi in Quran. So do you know what's happened with Shaitan and Abu Huraira? You know for this hadith?
No idea, bro.
So Abu Huraira was basically keeping the food. He was guarding the storage of the food. And one night, one guy came to him, tried to steal the food, and Abu Huraira catch him. So this person start to begging Abu Huraira, please let me go, I have children, I have family, blah, blah, blah. So Abu Huraira let him go. He didn't want to report him, they will probably, cut his hand. So he caught him again next night. Same person, stealing, same story, begging to let him go. So he let him go. Third time, Abu Huraira catch him again and said, dude, I will not let you go. Like, this is 3 nights in a row. So the guy told him, look, if you let me go, I will tell you the prayer that Shaitan fears the most. Okay? And this person told to Abu Huraira Ayat al-Kursi. So Abu Huraira let him go, went to Muhammad, and Muhammad told him, yeah, what he told you is true, and the person who told you was Shaitan. Literally Shaitan, not like allegorically. So Shaitan taught people how to pray against him.
Well, not only that,
Very
Shaitan
logical, right?
also took his shahada and became a Muslim.
No, but this is like real Shaitan, not like Shaitan jinn who's following every person. No, this is like real Shaitan. One of these that Muhammad probably supposedly find in the mosque, wanted to tie the rope around him, whatever. So he literally pay attention on Shaitan, who is evil. He's teaching people which part of the Quran to read to defeat Shaitan. Very logical, right? Crazy, bro, crazy.
For those that are saying, send it to Duron or share this with Duron, I've sent the invite to Duron now, which I've never done before. I normally just, let him run his thing. But guys, send Duron an invite for those that can as well, and ask him to join just so I can show him all this, because let's face it, he's got like 800 people coming to his live. And I've got information. I may not have the following he has, but I sure have some information that he could use. So I'm not sure if that's, sometimes I'd pop into his live, but again, he does it after mine or later in the day, which doesn't really fit my schedule. But these are the questions that we need to ask Muslims on a level where it's common sense and logic. Common sense and logic. This is why I asked the question, if I was to go for a job interview. In this job interview, if I'm, you missed this one. I was saying to someone, listen to this craziness. I said, if I went to a job and I said to someone, I was possessed by the devil, tried to unalive myself several times, married to 11 women, one of them is a child, yada, yada. Do you know what this person said to me? Oh, you mustn't give out all the information. You can't be that honest.
What?
They said you shouldn't be that honest in an interview.
Oh, God.
I said, why? Is it because I wouldn't get the job? And they go, yeah. So I said, exactly my point.
All right. It's funny. I was watching Avery's live stream yesterday. I had some time, and he did the topic with life, the Islam is untrustworthy or whatever. And he asked this one dude the question. He was like, if I was a or if you wanted to hire a babysitter and 3 out of 4 of the children were unalived or abused or something, would you ask his babysitter to babysit your child? And the guy said? He was like, yeah, but that's not really the question you want to ask.
Yeah.
Bro, I was like, are you okay? Like, but they just can't be honest.
So
I actually
beside
forgot
this
that Duron
hadith
is on
that-
our panel.
Mhm. So beside this hadith, there's another hadith where Muhammad converted his Satan to Islam.
What does that mean? Is that like allegorical or?
So Aisha, well, Muhammad says that everyone has a devil or his personal devil, but Muhammad converted his devil to Islam. So, dude, you have to.
So
you have
he
to-
ordered him only good. So basically, not
Exactly.
teach him. He ordered him to do only good. Interesting.
Yeah. I know about the hadith, but like I've never actually heard somebody explain what they think it means. Because I mean, obviously, like it just sounds insane, but I mean, I don't know, man.
I think,
Yeah, do you remember the number, Paul? It just says the devil accepted Islam. What does it say? Everyone has a devil.
yeah, everyone has a devil. I think the Arab Christians are the best trolls. They open rooms and they start asking, come tell us about your brother in Islam. The devil, basically.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find it so that people can see that we have it. But yes, there's a hadith that says everyone has a devil, and Muhammad says yes, but his devil became a Muslim.
I mean, I see the one here from Sahih Muslim 2814a, but it doesn't say anything about him converting. It just says, there's none amongst you with whom is not an attached from amongst the jinn. They, the companions said, Allah's messenger with you too. Thereupon he said, yes, but Allah helps me against him, and so I'm safe from his hand, and he does not command me but for good. Now, I always wondered this last section, what this meant. So is the he Allah or is the he shaitan? Because it says he does not
He the
command me for
shaitan.
good.
He the shaitan. So because
Oh my God, bro.
yeah. So because he believes everyone is under the influence of Satan, and but his Satan is a Muslim, or he subdued him into Islam. So now he only influenced him the correct way. So he's infallible in a sense. The issue with that is, it's like, how do you not know the nature of the satanic forces or Satan himself? He's the father of all lies. So do you think it's far fathomable that Satan could be possibly lying to you? Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah.
That's crazy.
But this goes into also, in your home, you have to have a bed for Satan. You notice that. So the craziness is, in your home, you need to have a bed, one for the husband, one for the wife, one for the guest, and one for the devil. So is this coming from someone that's bewitched? I mean, a sane person wouldn't say, dudes, don't have rooms in your house for the angels. Just make sure you've got one for the devil.
Dude, like this clown. He
for this one, they can go around it. Okay, they can say like it was allegorical for basically not having guests in your house. Something can happen between your wife or your guest, or you and your guest, something like this. I suppose that they can go around this, But about Satan ordering Muhammad only to do good and teaching Abu Hurairah that Ayat al-Kursi is the best cure against the Satan, that is pretty crazy.
Paul, I just read this hadith in the Arabic, and this is the one that says that shaitan converted. Yeah, it's because it says this is
What's the number? I mean,
stop laughing, man.
2815.
It says this is Sahih Muslim 2814a. In the last section, let me pull it up. فَأَسْلَمَ فَلَا يَأْمُرُونِي إِلَّا بِخَيْرٍ. Yeah, so it says فَأَسْلَمَ. So and he submitted, basically, or quote unquote. They'll say like he converted or he submitted,
No,
but
that's converted, bro.
yeah. فَأَسْلَمَ فَلَا يَأْمُرُونِي إِلَّا بِخَيْرٍ. Yeah, so it says that basically he's saying, so he, I don't know, I guess you could say he converted or he's submitted to Allah, or
That's not the interpretation. The interpretation is he became a Muslim.
yeah. So he basically became a Muslim, and it says that therefore he commands me to do nothing except good, basically.
Right. And then, but
Command him. That's the point. Command him. He's commanding him to do good, not teaching him, not advising him, commanding him to do good. Crazy, bro.
So yeah, like all these things come into play with the same ahadith from yesterday and today. So, for example, yesterday James brought up al-abiyad, the white devil,
The
and
white one,
then
yeah.
yeah, or the white one. So you have that, and then you have this, and then you have the tying of the devil. All these things, if you compile them, you would understand that the infamiliarity of Muhammad and knowing that Satan lies. It's not a problem for Satan to say Ashhadu and la ilaha illallah.
You know, also,
Yeah,
Akita
sorry,
Arfa,
what did you
Yani,
think of that, man? Listen, Paul, I actually didn't think of that. Satan could have been lying to him, saying, "Yeah, I'm going to be a Muslim," fingers crossed behind his back.
exactly. I mean, Paul, أكيد تعرف يعني في موجود الحديث عن الموضوع عن like there's a hadith that exists about like I forget what it's it says something to the effect of like keep a bed in your house
Yeah,
for for Satan or something like that. Yeah.
you
So
put
it's
bed
like
in the house for your wife, your husband, one for the guest and one for Satan.
exactly. So it's like hold on a second. So you have the hadith like as we're saying about tying him to the pillar. You have the hadith about him converting and only instructing him to do good, apparently. After that, you have the hadith about him uh, having a bed. You have all of these narrations, and it just seems that he just doesn't understand, like what Paul said, the nature of Satan. I'm thinking that he thinks that he's just like I don't know what he thinks actually.
That epiphany is so good.
Yeah. I've just thought about it. I'm like, actually, I don't know. ما أعرفش أقول إيه. I mean,
That
what should I say
epiphany
about
was
this?
priceless.
like, what do we say about this?
So I'll read you guys another one just to see. It says, whenever you go to bed, recite the verse Al-Kursi. For the guardian of Allah will be guarding you, and Satan will not approach you till dawn. On that, the Prophet said, he told you the truth, though he is a liar. And he, the thief himself, was the Satan. Sahih Bukhari. I'll read it again. Abu Hurairah said, Allah's apostle put me in charge of the zakat of Ramadan. Someone came to me and started scooping some of the foodstuff of the zakat with both hands. I caught him and told him that I would take him to Allah's apostle. Then Abu Hurairah told the whole narration and added, he, that is the thief, said, whenever you go to bed, recite Al-Kursi, for then a guardian from Allah will be guarding you, and Satan will not approach you till dawn. But then Muhammad said, he told you the truth, though he is a liar. And he, the thief himself, was Satan. So Satan is also telling the truth according to Bukhari.
Yep, that's one. Satan taught people how to cast the Satan. So very logical, Satan will give you which proper prayer for you to pray to cast him out. Where is the sense in that, bro? Why Satan, who is enemy of yours, why he will give you exact prayer to pray to cast him out? Come on, bro.
That's their number one argumentation. Like Battis actually brought it yesterday. He said, "Why would the Quran be from Satan if it tells you to stay away from Satan?" Well, along those lines, or something like this.
Yeah.
Right, James? Wasn't it like this?
It's
like they cannot understand that he's the father of all lies, that he can manipulate someone.
There's some truth in a lie. It's like Adam can say that the apple or the fruit tastes delicious. That's not a lie. That could be true, but it's what the rest of it is that's the poison. So you might be tempted into something that sounds good, but then it's bad for you afterwards.
Well, someone can play into your psychology. Let's say you're programmed your entire life to stay away from something. They can use that against you and basically construct a way where it looks like you are staying away from it, but you're actually drawing near it. So that's that's the simplest way of putting it. We're all programmed to stay away from evil and from Satan. And Satan knows that. So, but what is the best way to get you closer to him is to tell you, stay away from him, but yet get you closer to him in the same breath, in the same different ways.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it is. Like, it's astonishing to me that Muslims use that excuse that the Quran teaches us to stay away from Satan. Well, so
Yes, Malik Hamza, I accepted your request and then you dropped. Guys, if you're Muslim and you want to just make this make sense, because as I said, we are reading the Quran. The Quran is telling us that Allah will only protect those that are following Him. That Allah has that Satan will have no influence on anyone that follows Allah. Yet we can see, according to the Quran, that Muhammad was influenced by Satan. The hadiths confirm this. The history, according to Ibn Ishaq, is confirming this. So again, the question is, why should I trust a bewitched man that is led astray by Shaitan? How then can I trust the book that he's given me, which is pointing to me to a God other than the God of the Old and New Testament? And then why in the world should I trust Islam if it's coming from a man that's bewitched? Because again, as you know, God Logic said yesterday, talking about the previous scriptures and talking about a babysitter, I would go on and say, if a guy was parking cars and he crashed car 1 and he crashes car 2 and he crashes car 3, would you trust him with car 4? No, you wouldn't trust him because he has a history of crashing cars. So again, if you can't trust the author and you can't trust the person receiving the revelation, because he himself is claiming to be bewitched, how in the world can we then trust Islam? So if there's any Muslim that wants to make this make sense, please, you're more than welcome to request. If you're a Muslim, please request and we can have this conversation. I'm not sure if Nita is a Muslim. Nita, are you a Muslim? Oh, hang on, there's another person there.
yeah, I don't know if he requested by error, I love Jesus Christ or faith. Are you? You're a Christian, obviously. Nita, just 1 second. I think I love Jesus Christ or faith wanted to say something, so I accepted his request. Coming once, coming twice. You're gonna get dropped. Okay, God bless you, brother.
I will. God bless you all. See you later. I will continue to watch, but I will leave the place on the panel for somebody to come.
Okay,
See you guys.
God bless you. God bless you, brother.
Okay, Nita, how are you?
Hello, James. How are you? All right?
Very well. You're a Muslim, correct?
Yes.
Beautiful.
He came in on his wife's account, right? Last time.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
right. Well done,
Yeah,
Paul.
I don't have a TikTok account, so yeah, I'm using my wife's account.
So the last time we spoke, we had a fruitful conversation, if I remember correctly. And
Yes.
I'm curious
so.
now as to this, with regards to this topic. And I'll
Yeah.
start it with a question to you. If
Mhm.
if you said to me, can you park my car? And I took your car and I crashed it once, and you asked me a second time to park the car and I crashed it the second time and I crashed it a third time, would you trust me to park your car the fourth time?
No.
Why?
Because you're a bad driver, obviously. You're
Yeah, you can't trust me, correct?
Yeah.
Beautiful. So the reason I asked that is we're just looking at the Quran and Muhammad. In the Quran, we are taught that Allah gave us the Torah and that got corrupted. Allah gave us the Zabur, that got corrupted. Allah gave us the Injil, that got corrupted. Why should I trust the God of Islam when he has a history of corruption in 3 of his books? Why should I trust him with his 4th book? Especially now with the topic where it says, can we trust a man that was bewitched? As a Sunni Muslim, you would agree that the Quran teaches that Allah will protect those that are following him, but he will not protect those that are following Shaitan, correct?
Yeah, first of all, I told you before, I'm not Sunni or Shia. I'm just a Muslim, as the Quran
Okay.
says. So,
So the Quran
so
is
you say
teaching that.
Sunni Muslim, so I wouldn't say myself that I'm one or the other. I'm
No
just a
worries.
Muslim.
No worries. But the Quran teaches that Allah only protects those that follow him. Meaning that if you don't follow Allah, then shaitan will be able to influence you, correct?
No, Allah knows who has the heart is not pure, and that kind of a person Allah will not protect. So Allah will not just leave you first and leave you to the shaitan. Allah says in the Quran, Allah will not guide the fasiqun. This kind of a people who have a deviation in the heart. So
So do
Allah
you
will leave
believe
them.
that Muhammad was ever led astray?
Never ever, of course.
But the
Absolutely
Quran says
not.
something else.
Yes, please show me from the Quran that Muhammad
Yes,
follows
Samay,
shaitan.
this is Abbas.
That's the reason I call, because you say Quran, we see in the Quran that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam follows shaitan. So I'm very curious to show me from the Quran that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam follows shaitan.
No worries. Yes, people are asking if you still Abbas. You confirm that you are still Abbas. You haven't changed your name.
No, I am Abbas. Yeah.
Lovely. No worries. So according to you, you don't take any hadiths either, correct?
I don't take any hadith, you said?
No, do you take any hadiths?
Of course, I take the hadith, but I do not take hadith. There is a science of hadith. Obviously, I follow the muhaddithin, and they have a science of hadith. And there are hadiths which have any kind of a defect, or any kind of a chain defect or a matan defect. Then I will not take it, even though if it's sahih.
No.
So I will prove it why I'm not taking it, for what reason I'm not taking it. So I have to have a valid reason to reject hadith.
Okay. But you've heard of the satanic verses, correct?
I heard about satanic verses, yes.
Okay. Can you just out of curiosity, can you tell me what did you hear about the satanic verses? What about it did you hear?
Well, people claim that the Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam utters satanic verses, but that is just a ridiculous claim, not backed by Sahih Hadith, not backed by the Quran. Actually, if you read the Quran properly, the whole context, Allah say these are the names their forefathers have made this name. Allah have given no authority. Allah is rejecting the kuffar, the Quraysh, so the pagans, that they have made those names. Allah have given no authority. So Quran didn't say anything that Muhammad uttered those names. Neither any Sahih Hadith you can show me that says that Muhammad ever uttered those verses. It's only Ibn Ishaq he's saying things like that. But Ibn Ishaq is not authentic biography by any scholars. No scholar says Ibn Ishaq is 100% authentic.
But we've got Hisham that took Ibn Ishaq and he studied it, he corrected it, he deleted what he needed to delete, and then he gave us what he assumed to be 100% correct, authentic.
Who's Ibn Hisham? Who's Hisham?
Okay, so now I don't go anywhere you don't want to go. So if you don't,
Ibn Ishaq is 100 years after Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
I know. So he's before the hadith.
Hisham came well after him.
But he still edited what he thought was wrong from Ibn Ishaq, correct?
So are you telling me that Hisham was inspired by God?
Beautiful. Hang on now. Watch this now. See, now you're getting me somewhere. Yeah. Do you agree that the hadiths came after Ibn Ishaq?
Not at all. Hadiths existed. Hadiths were compiled after Ibn Ishaq.
Yes, compiled. So, for example,
hadith existed since Muhammad was alive. The words come out of his mouth, what he uttered, people remembered it, and they compiled it hundreds of years later.
Beautiful. So watch this. According to the Quran, we're taking a bit of a detour, but according to the Quran confirms that Muhammad did no miracles. But after Muhammad passes away, afterwards, we get all these amazing miracles that was attributed to Muhammad, but none of it came from the time of Muhammad, because the Quran states clear that Muhammad was just a plain warner and he had no miracles. So again, I'm questioning now again, and even if we look at the miracles of Islam, remember now the Quran is talking about Muhammad in Surah 5:42. The Quran states that Satan will have no authority over anyone except if they follow Satan, correct?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Same thing in Surah 16, 98 to 100, and also Surah 5, 67. In fact, Surah 17, 47 also kind of hints at, Muhammad will be protected. If Muhammad is protected, then we need to go to Surah 22, 52 to understand the impact of Surah 22, 52, because again, according to Ibn Abbas, according to the scholars of Islam like Razi, Razi says clearly that it was reported from Atta that Ibn Abbas said, a devil called Al-Abayad came to the Prophet in the form of Jibril and cast these words, that is the satanic verses, upon him, and the Prophet recited them. When the pagans heard that, it pleased them. Thereupon Jibril came and asked them to rehearse the revelation to him. When he reached the words, Jibril said, I did not bring these words to you. Someone came to me in your form and cast these words on my tongue. This is quoting from Surah 22, 52. So Muhammad, again, remember, in the cave, when Muhammad's in the cave, Muhammad doesn't know who visits him. Muhammad, according to Ibn Ishaq, he says that he's possessed. He gets upset. He wants to unalive himself several times, according to Sahih Hadiths. So we have a hadith confirming that Muhammad was so upset with what happened to him, he wants to unalive himself because this thing that visited him was, as the Bible describes, is like a demonic spirit. So now my question is, so far we've got no idea who visited Muhammad and who gives him the revelations. At the same time, according to the scholars, they're teaching us that Muhammad had a tendency of being bewitched. We can learn that from Sahih Hadiths. He himself confesses that he may have been possessed. So my question now is, if this is the type of man that is possessed, bewitched, how do I trust that what he has given us is the true word of Allah?
Right. May I respond?
Yes, please.
Okay, what I get, you made a lot of points, but I picked 2 points, especially. First, about the satanic verses, chapter 22, verse 52. And you say Ibn Abbas in one of the tafsir, or what Ibn Abbas tafsir you mentioned, that he says there was the satanic verses Muhammad uttered. Second point I picked was that you say he tried to unalive himself after he met a creature in the cave and he was possessed and he tried to unalive himself. These 2 points I like to answer if you don't mind.
Sure.
First one, you mentioned about Ibn Abbas. You said tafsir. I think Ibn Abbas, you said. Do you know?
That's what, according to Razi.
According to Razi, okay. Tafsir of Razi, okay. So this thing you are confirming with me, what this quotation from Razi, this you do not find this any in the Sahih Hadith books. You agree with me on that? This is just in a tafsir, interpretation of the Quran from Razi picking up a saying of Ibn Abbas. Now you need to show me that this is authentic hadith, because we know.
So why don't we do this? Sorry to jump in. Sorry,
brother.
Why don't we go
you have to you have to answer. Let me answer my question.
Sorry, I was going to let us read the verse first. But I apologize. Go on.
Yeah, no, we can read the verse as well. But let me answer these 2 things. Then you can pick up, and then you can tell me where I'm wrong. So I, as a Muslim, do not take everything mentioned in tafsir. You know why? Because there are tafsir and there are tafsir, and tafsir contradict with each other. They disagree with each other in many ways. So what I take as a Muslim, I take authentic hadith, especially if it's a mutawatir hadith. Mutawatir hadith is the strongest one. Akhbari ahad is the weaker one. So mutawatir hadith, when we are judging a prophet of God, at least we have to bring something authentic, something solid. So that's my answer to this question. Ibn Abbas says satanic verses who came to Muhammad uttered it. This is no authentic hadith ever mentioned that thing. Why they missed out on that? Secondly, you mentioned Muhammad ﷺ tried to unalive himself. And you said, you are right, you say this is in the Sahih Hadith. Yes, it's true. This is in Sahih Muslim or Sahih Bukhari as well. But there is one illat. Last time I told you there are hidden defects in the hadith. And there's a hidden defect in this hadith. This hadith is mentioned 3 to 4 times in Bukhari and Muslim. Only one instance it elongate. The hadith is longer than the other ones. In only one instance it says, when Waraka died, as we have heard, the Prophet ﷺ used to go up in the mountain, try to unalive himself. Now this is Zuhri is the one who's saying, who's making this addition in this hadith. That he said, as we have heard, balagana. This is a hearsay. Zuhri did not say that this is Aisha told us that. Because the whole hadith is mentioning Aisha say this, Aisha say this, Aisha say this. But when it comes to this point, he said, as we have heard that he used to go up in the mountain. So this is what the hidden defect in this hadith. Muhammad ﷺ never ever tried to unalive himself. He could never have. He was the Prophet of God. So this is a hearsay of Zuhri. He heard from somewhere and did not told us who told him. So whenever
can I read the hadith for you, my brother? Can I read it first?
Yes, please. You read the hadith and you see the where he says, and when Waraka died, then he says,
I have it in front of me.
Yes,
so this is Sahih Bukhari, volume 9, book 87, hadith number 111. And it says this, narrated Aisha. So either Aisha is telling the truth or she's lying. So narrated Aisha. But after a few days, Waraka died, and the divine inspiration was also paused for a while, and the Prophet became so sad that we have heard that he intended several times to throw himself from the tops of high mountains. And every time he went to the top in order to throw himself down, Jibreel would appear before him and say, O Muhammad, you are indeed Allah's apostle in truth, whereupon his heart would become quiet, and he would calm down and would return home. And whenever the period of coming of the inspiration became too long, he would do as before, but he used to reach the top of the mountain. Jibreel would appear before him and say to him what he said before. So according to this verse, this wasn't a one-time thing. Because Muhammad longed for revelation, he used to go up to the top of the mountain. Ibn Ishaq also says this. I know you don't take him, but I need to read it, because Ibn Ishaq says in his book, he says, so I, Muhammad, read it, and Jibreel departed from me, and I awoke from my sleep, and it was as though these words were written on my heart. Now none of Allah's creatures was more horrible to me than a poet or a man possessed. I could not even look at them. I thought, woe is me, poet or possessed. Never shall Qurayshi say this of me. I will go to the top of the mountain and throw myself down that I may unalive myself and gain rest. You there?
Can you hear me? Hello?
Now I can. You were muted. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I was just looking. I'm on my phone. I was looking.
Now, once you leave the app, Abbas, I can't hear you.
Yeah. So I was just, as I was telling you, and you did read that, but you just kind of very quickly pass on that without pondering on that.
I didn't know how to ponder. I just read the verse because it says.
You didn't notice what I said. It said, as we have heard. Say, as we have heard. So that's where the part where it says he used to go up in the mountain. In that, before that is as we have heard. Whole hadith you didn't see. He mentioned anything is a long hadith. Zuhri is mentioning this hadith. If you see the chain of narration, Zuhri is mentioning from Aisha. Zuhri is a tabi. And Zuhri is mentioning this whole hadith that Aisha said that. And the whole hadith is mentioned, Khadija, Waraka, and everything. But when it comes to part that Waraka died, then he say, as we have heard. Zuhri did not need to say that as we have heard, because he already saying that Aisha told us this. Then why he has to add this thing as we have heard? Because this is not a saying of Aisha. Why I'm saying that? Because there are other 3 hadiths where they stopped that Waraka died. They did not mention this extra part.
Can I just ask? Sorry.
Zuhri added this. Last thing I'm going to say this. There are scholars that mentioned Balagh of Zuhri. Zuhri have so many Balagh in mention. He is the one who's known as Mudallis and Mudarrij. He was guilty of Idraj. Idraj meaning he used to add things. Zuhri was known for that. And that's what it says. Zuhri is Zuhri is adding this extra bit. Nobody
Wait,
else did.
so okay. I mean, and James, like for me personally, this is why I don't ever go the hadith route or the tafsir route or the shah route. I don't do because it doesn't matter what you say to them; they're just going to throw it under the bus. What are you going to do with the actual Quran verse where it says
Mhm.
that he received that Satan spoke to him, and after that it was abrogated? Are you going to reject the Quran?
Where does the Quran says that?
In chapter 22, verse 52.
I'll read it for you. It says,
Let's read it. Yes, let's read it.
"And no messenger or prophet did we send before thee, but that when he had a longing, Satan would cast into his longing, whereupon Allah of Ephesus what Satan cast." Then
It's a
God,
bad, it's a bad translation. It doesn't, it's not longing. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِنْ قَبْلِكَ مِنْ رَسُولٍ وَلَا نَبِيًّا إِلَّا إِذَا تَمَنَّى أَلْقَى الشَّيْطَانُ فِي أُمْنِيَّتِهِ. So it says that he cast into his recitation. And then after that, it says, فَيَنْسُخُ اللَّهُ مَا يُلْقِي الشَّيْطَانُ. So then after that, it's abrogated. So where it says أَلْقَى الشَّيْطَانُ فِي أُمْنِيَّتِهِ, it says that literally means cast into his recitation. You can even hover your mouse over the
the
Quran
word.
translation. Yeah, like over the word in Quran.com, and it literally says recitation. And how we know that this is a recitation is because when you go down to the next verse, it says that Shaitan makes those people who heard it, it makes it like a trial for them. So, I mean, you have the burden of proof on you to explain, okay, like, yeah, it was abrogated, but it happened first. That's the problem. So you can reject hadith, you can reject tafsir, you can reject all of whatever you want, but you can't reject the Quran. It's literally right there in front of you. So how do you answer this?
Yeah, okay, I'll try. Inshallah. Sounds like that you know Arabic. I mean, can you tell
I
me?
know a little bit.
Can you tell me how you say recitation in Arabic?
I mean, there's many different ways. The sayaq will determine what it means. So you could say, like, even the Quran can mean recitation. But in this
That's right.
particular, right?
Yeah,
But in this
Qira.
particular, yeah, that's fine. But in this particular instantiation, umniyatihi means recitation because of the sayaq, because of the context. When you read the tafsir, like James pulled up, it gives you the context of when this verse happened. That's the problem. So I always start with the Quran first, and then I move to the tafsir and hadith or whatever. Because if you want to say that this didn't happen, you want to reject the tafsir, now you have to explain to us what is the context of this verse. So let's start there. What is the context of this verse?
First of all, there's another word mentioned in this verse as well, called tamanna. What's tamanna means?
Tamanna. I mean, it can mean many different things. It can mean desire. It could mean longing, but it can also mean recited.
Yeah,
That's why I said it depends on the context.
That's right. Yeah. So tamanna also mean desire, and also mean recitation as well.
It could,
Right.
it could, because
Right.
there's other verses in the Quran that use that word. But like for instance, in English, in any language, this is the case. If I say the word bat, okay, well, depending on who you are, you may come up with a different idea may come into your head when you hear the word bat. If you're a baseball player, you're going to think of a bat that you use to hit a ball with. But if you're like a like taxonomist or something like that, who does like taxidermy, or I forget what they're called, but the people who do taxidermy, you're going to think of an actual creature known as a bat. It all depends on the context of what's being said. And this is why I'm asking you, okay, fine. Like, yes, it can mean desire, it can mean whatever. But in this particular verse, you have to know what it means by the context. So I'm asking you, what is the context of this verse?
Context of this verse, what I read from the Quran, as I say, I don't go by tafasir and all that. I just
Oh, you don't go by tafsir?
Not necessarily. For me, my yardstick is Quran, and then or Sahih Ahadith. Then if tafasir mentions Sahih Hadith, they back their opinion with Sahih Hadith, then I follow tafasir. But if it's
Okay.
nothing backed by Sahih Hadith, it's just an opinion of a scholar.
Okay. Okay.
So
If you
rather
don't,
than
if you
just
don't, I mean, I had a feeling you would say that. This becomes extremely problematic for you now, because if you go to the next verse, let me go to it. يجعل ما يلقي الشيطان فتنة للذين في قلوبهم مريض. Okay, so it's basically saying here in this particular verse, so after he establishes his revelations, he makes it a influence, or he makes it a trial. It literally uses the word fitna lilladina fi qulubihim. It makes it a trial in their hearts, qulubihim, in their hearts. So here's the problem now. Okay, if you want to reject tafsir, now you're stuck to what the Quran is saying now in verse 53. It literally says that it makes it a trial for the people who heard it in verse 53, because remember, it's saying that it was abrogated as well. How can you abrogate something that was not said? That's the problem. So if you want to throw out, because it says right here, فَيَنْسُخُ اللَّهُ مَا يُلْقِي الشَّيْطَانُ. Okay, fine. So he abrogated it, and then verse 53, he says what they heard was a trial for them. So you can only abrogate something that's heard. This is why verse 53 says it was a trial for them. It was abrogated, sure,
Okay.
but
Verse
afterward.
52 is, let me answer this. Nothing is abrogated as far as I'm concerned. And this verse is not abrogated. Who told you this is abrogated?
No, not the verse. No. Like, listen to me. Not the verse is abrogated. What was spoken to him is abrogated.
No, whatever prophet desired, whatever Satan interfered with the desire of the prophet.
Can you abrogate desires?
Yes.
Can you abrogate?
No. There's another word for it. It's not abrogate. It's abolishes. Allah
abolishes.
Abolish whatever desire comes into you. Satan interferes in your desire. Allah abolishes that. Allah abolishes that desire.
Okay, look, my friend. Let's not do this. Can you bring me an example? Bring me the evidence from the Quran that abrogation can be used for like a desire. Because when you go to chapter 2, verse 106, it says that he abrogates and replaces it with something better. So because remember, you reject tafsir. So according to the Quran itself, he has to say it first for it to be abrogated. You just threw in, okay, well, you can also abrogate desires. Where are you getting that from?
Desires are basically thoughts. So desires is not an action. I desire to go eat a pizza. I desire that doesn't mean this is something that's in my brain. It's not something that's physical. A desire isn't unless you act upon the desire. So as a man, you're desiring and it can be abrogated, then what is give you a new idea?
Because it says in the next verse, it says all that, I'm just reading the English, all that so he may make Satan's influence a trial for those whose hearts are sick. Okay, well, I mean, if that's the case, now you're stuck in one of two dilemmas. Either you're going to say that it was never spoken and it was just something that was abrogated in his mind, then 53 is referring to Muhammad, and the Quran is saying that his heart was sick and he was a disbeliever and his heart was hardened. But there's no way you would say that. That's insane. So this is in reference to a group of people. In fact, it says qulubihim. That's plural. It's a group of people, their hearts. So I mean, this has to be in reference to a group of people.
Verse 53 is not talking about Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's talking about
those
people who have illness in their heart. You did say that, verse 53.
No. I said there's a dilemma if you want to say, because you said that this is just his desire. He didn't actually say this. Okay. Well, then verse 53, if he didn't say this, would be referring to him, because it says also that he may make a Satan's influence. Okay, well, who was influenced?
Then verse 53 is referring about the Quran. Many people, they read the Quran, but because they have illness in their heart, they understand the meaning which they want to understand, which is the same thing Allah says in the Quran, chapter 3, verse 7. Those who have,
understand that.
there are clear verses and there are
Yes.
ambiguous verses.
I
Those
know
who have
about the
illness in their heart.
mutashabiha.
So
I
yeah.
know.
So this is talking about people listening the Quran as well,
Exactly.
but they understanding the
Exact-
Quran wrongly because they have illness in their heart. It's not
Okay,
that
my
Muhammad
friend.
has illness in his heart.
Okay, my friend, I'm agreeing with
brother,
you,
you're
and I'm a walk.
not letting me.
Bro,
You're not letting me make my
just
point.
relax.
No,
Relax. Because stop.
no, because
You're
you're not letting
answering a
me make my
question,
point.
my
No,
friend.
you're not letting me clarify the thing.
Because you're answering.
conflating
Okay, look, bro, stop.
You're conflating
The reason
things.
I'm interjecting is because you're answering a question I didn't ask.
You're not
I'm
interjecting.
agreeing with you.
You're forcing your opinion onto me. You're not interjecting only. You're forcing your opinion onto me.
Please,
Yes,
I don't want to have to. I don't want to have to like mute you or anything. We're both adults. I need you to listen to what I'm saying to you. I'm not disagreeing with you. You're answering a question that nobody asked. Notice what you said when you went to Surah Al Imran, ayah 7. I know the verse about the mutashabiha. I know the verse, but notice what you said about it. You said that they were listening to the Quran, and then some of it is ambiguous, so then they only go with the unambiguous with the ambiguous verse. But notice the key word you said. They were listening to verses. This vindicates my point because in verse 52, they were listening to a verse. So it couldn't have merely just been something that was in his own mind. He said it. That's why verse 53 says he makes fitna for those people who have sickness in their hearts. But in order for it to be fitna for those people, they had to have heard it, which means in verse 52, he said it first. Then it says, فَيَنْسُخُ اللَّهُ مَا يُلْقِي الشَّيْطَانِ. Then it was abrogated.
Again, what are you doing? You're forcing your opinion to me. I already answered you that.
So if
Okay,
let's do this then. If we had a stalemate.
This is abolishing what desire came to Prophet's heart. For example, he is a human being. He's living among Quraysh. He has a family. He has a people who he like them to follow Islam. So he has a desire. Is something can happen possibly from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that they all follow me? Something in the middle can come that we can all follow Allah. Satan is putting in his heart those desires. Yes, maybe something need to be done. Maybe their gods are, maybe they are, Muhammad sallallahu thinking as a human being. Allah abolishing that desires in his heart. And Allah establishing his verses. So his desires been abolished. Now Allah is establishing his verses. And the people who are listening to those verses, and some people who have illness in their heart, even the right verses, they think wrongly about the verses. Like the Muslims do all the time. Allah said, do not make sex in Islam. People are making sex all the time. That's haram. That's haram. So this is the thing, even the Quran saying one thing, but people are interpreting differently. This is what it's saying about the people. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it didn't say he uttered any satanic verses. You are trying
let's go there. Hang on a second, brother. Let's go there now. Let's just get back on. So the verses I showed you earlier, proving that Allah will only protect those that are following him, and Allah will not protect those that go against Allah. Do you agree with that so far?
I already told you a few times. Yes.
Beautiful. You don't accept 2252, but watch this.
I accept 2252. Please don't say something wrong. I accept every verse of the Quran. What are you talking about?
Well, no, you don't accept it as it was the Satan influenced Muhammad.
I do not understand your interpretation.
Okay, beautiful.
I don't
accept mine. Yeah. You don't accept Razi. You don't accept Ibn Abbas, right? But I'm gonna move on from that. Still focusing on this verse. If Muhammad was protected, then Allah would not have cursed him. Correct?
Allah never cursed Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
So let's see if that's true now. Because remember, now we're still trying to understand if Muhammad was bewitched. If Muhammad was bewitched, in the hadith we have, right? Do you agree that we have Sahih hadiths that confirm that Muhammad was bewitched?
I have no reason to reject it. Yes.
Beautiful.
The magic affected him. Yes.
Beautiful. Now, again, do you know how long that magic affected him?
Well, some people, Tafasir say 6 months, but I also heard some people say it was probably for a day or two.
Okay.
So
in that day or two, in the day or 2 or 6 months, Did Muhammad receive any revelation?
There is no indication that he received any revelation, because there are revelations, sometimes it takes months, revelation doesn't come.
So
I mean,
again, can you prove
revelation is
to
not
me?
coming all the time, every single day.
I know that, but how do you
Right.
know that he didn't receive any revelation while he was bewitched?
Well, if you are saying, if I can't prove that, that means he definitely received revelation, then you are arguing from silence.
Okay, so watch now again, right? So you agree that Muhammad was bewitched, and bewitched means that you are doing the work of Satan, correct?
Nope, not necessarily. No.
Okay,
no,
who
no,
is the
no.
one that will bewitch you? Does
The
Allah
magic,
bewitch you? Or
magic
does-
affected him. Magic
Was it,
affected
okay,
him.
hang on. Was the
But we
magic
do
from
not
something
find
evil?
anything. Sorry.
Hang on, brother. Listen to the question. Was the magic when he was bewitched? Was it bewitched by God or by the devil? Who bewitches you?
There are human beings who affected magic on him. There are human
I know. Was
beings.
it
It's
good
not-
magic
it's not
coming
devil.
from Allah,
It's
or
not.
was it bad magic?
It's not devil. The devil is affecting magic on him and affected him. It's a human being. They done something to him, which he was under their spell, under their magic.
Okay, so let me read.
His health.
You're
His
missing
health
it.
was. His
You're
health was
missing it.
affected. He even feel a little bit sick and all that.
Okay, I get you.
Not that we
but
find
again,
any
you're not
proof that
answering my
revelation
question,
was
Abbas.
affected.
Abbas, you're not answering the question. When he was bewitched,
Yeah.
was he doing stuff that was godly or ungodly?
Well, what we are saying it, and we don't find any ahadith mentioned about these things, how it affected him.
Let's
But,
read. I have it in
but
front of me.
consensus, but
I
the
have it in front of
scholarly consensus is that his physical health was affected, not that his heart or his mind was.
Let's see.
Not that his heart was affected.
Can I read, Abbas?
with-
Can I read
well,
what the hadith says?
I'm just trying to explain to you something.
Yeah, but I have
His
the
heart-
hadith.
his heart
Why
wasn't
do I have to
affected.
listen to you when I can read?
Please.
Why don't we read the hadith itself instead of your interpretation?
Fair enough. Go on.
Perfect. Sahih Bukhari, volume 4, book 54 in number 490 says, magic was worked on the Prophet so that he began to fancy that he was doing a thing when he was actually not doing it. One day he invoked Allah for a long period, then said, I feel that Allah has inspired me how to cure myself. One day, meaning it happened for such a long time, one day, not next day. So it couldn't have been one day. And then it continues. Two persons came to me in my dream and sat, one at my head and the other at my feet. One of them asked, how is this ailment of the man? The other replied, he's been bewitched. The first asked, who bewitched him? Now again, bewitchment isn't a compliment. It's something negative, meaning that something needs to be done about it. Then the other replied that it's Asam. The first one asked, what material did he use? And yada yada talks about the comb. In Sahih Bukhari, volume 8, in number 89, it says, the Prophet continued for such and such a period. So it's not one day, not 2 days, imagining that he had sexual relations with his wives. So Muhammad was now thinking sexually, again, outside of Islam, outside of what Allah wants him to do. And it says, in fact, he did not do it. So one day he said to me, oh, Aisha. So one day, meaning after a period of time, Allah has instructed me regarding the matter about which I had asked him. There came two men to me again, and the men said he is under magic. Another Bukhari 660 says, magic was worked on Allah's apostle so that he used to think that he had sexual relations with his wives when he actually had not. And then it goes on and says, Aisha invoked Allah repeatedly, requesting him to cure him from that magic, meaning it didn't happen only once. Now my question was, if Muhammad was bewitched, and let's say some say 6 months or even longer or shorter, how then do we trust anything that came out of his mouth if he's bewitched by something that is evil? Because he's not bewitched by something that is holy. Because the Quran confirms that because he was bewitched, in the Quran, in the Hadith, it's explained by Al-Tabari, Muhammad said himself, I used to fabricate verses. I fabricated against Allah, meaning he made up things that Allah didn't say. And because he made up things that Allah didn't say, remember what the verse in the Quran says, that Allah will only protect those that are following him, not under Satan's influence. So Muhammad is clearly telling us, according to the Quran, he's only going to be protected from Shaitan if he follows Allah. But he clearly tells us that he himself was under the influence and was fabricating stuff. And because of that, Remember what the Quran says in Surah 69, 44 to 46. It says, if Muhammad had made anything up in our name, we would have seized him by his right hand and severed his iota. How did Muhammad pass away, Abbas? According to the hadith, I still feel the pain from the food I ate at Khaybar, and it feels as though it's cutting my iota. So if Muhammad wasn't cursed, Allah would not have punished him. But because he fabricated things after being influenced by the devil and by being bewitched, Allah punished him. Please explain.
Well, a lot of things you said here. I was trying to ask you what hadith you were reading, but anyway, whatever you read, then you mix Tabari with Sahih hadith and the Quran. It sounds like this. Everything you're reading is so authentic, and Tabari say I fabricated and all that, which has nothing to do with Sahih hadith. It sounds like that you're reading all authentic, but you're just mixing it, making a cocktail of things. What you
Is there
read
anything
about,
I said that's not true, brother? Is there anything I said that's
well, whatever Tabari says that is not no Sahih hadith. It's Tabari's opinion. Tabari is getting from somewhere. It's not mentioned in Bukhari, Muslim, Tirmidhi, or is a mutawatir hadith. So do not mix things together. I'm sorry to say that
is Tabari a liar?
This is what happened in your Bible. You're mixing good and the bad, and
I understand.
all
I
together,
understand.
and you're making it as one thing. And that's what we're trying to tell you. Where there is wrong, do not mix with the good one. So that's what you just did. Quran, Sayyidis, and Tabari. Tabari has many opinions. Tabari got hadith from Tabi, whoever
I don't
he
understand
found.
why this is a problem. Do you think like these are our sources? Maybe Rob Christian wrote these yesterday and
Okay,
then gave them to James.
It was me. It was me.
Do you
God bless you
follow
guys.
gospel of
God bless
you
you,
follow gospel of Thomas? Do you follow gospel of Thomas?
What does that have to do with this topic, bro?
No.
Whose sources are these?
Was
That's
it
a
not
different.
Christian? Was it
Please,
not
please
Christians?
focus.
Was it not
Please.
Christians?
There
Was
you
it
go
not
again.
Christians
I mean,
There you
writing?
go
going
again,
for
answering,
Was it
bro.
why,
There you go
why
again,
double,
answering
why
questions I
double
didn't
standards?
ask.
Look,
Why
I
are
am a
you answering
Muslim.
questions I didn't
I
ask?
am a
I know
Muslim.
you are. Look,
I am a Muslim, and I
please.
follow.
All right, let's do this. Please, I'm sorry. I didn't want to have to mute you. I need you to listen to me for a second. I know you're a Muslim, and that's why I'm asking you. Are these your sources or are these our sources? Can you please answer that question? You're muted, by the way.
I mean,
I muted you.
does he mean that there are no authentic sources for the satanic verses? Is that what he's trying to say?
I'm trying to. Well, he's rejected everything that we've shown
Let
him.
me answer Amin first. You say, are these your sources? If you are saying that my source mean any Muslim ever wrote anything, that's my source, that is not my source. If that's what you mean. My
Okay,
source
I'm gonna hand you over to Rob.
my sources,
there's no
my
point in me talking to you,
sources,
bro.
anything come from my creator, and anything come from his messenger. If we authenticate it, we prove it that it come from his mouth, that is my source. Other than that,
Abbas,
nothing is my source.
Okay, Abbas, I want to just ask you this question. Do you agree that from the sources that we read, Muhammad was bewitched? Do you agree with that so far?
I already says, hey, hadith did say magic affected him. Yes, but Tabari,
Beautiful.
what you mentioned,
Hang on,
Tabari,
brother,
I don't
please.
find Tabari totally authentic.
Okay, beautiful. So we'll skip a Tabari, but watch now again. If Muhammad is proving to be bewitched, and you don't know for how long, and you don't know what he uttered that made its way into the Quran, because the Quran is teaching us that Allah will always, that all the prophets are influenced by Satan, correct?
Brother, you already asked me this question. I was going to answer this thing before other guy jump in. I heard your question, and I'm going to address your question. I was going to answer is like this. Your claim is if he was under the spell of magic, so whatever he said, we cannot trust it. Then you read a couple of ahadith. In those ahadith, did they say anything about that he spoke any evil while he's under the magic? Did he spoke any evil? Or did any revelation?
That's the question.
Yes. The answer is yes.
Okay, please tell us, was the evil he spoke while he was under the spell, and if that evil also part of the revelation as well? If you can prove both.
Beautiful. Oh boy. Can I get the big screen? Thank you. Let's see if he spoke evil things and what his action was. And of course, guys, the problem is, my friend Abbas, I had many conversations with him in the past. He knows me, I know him. And watch how he's going to throw authentic sources under the bus, guys, because he needs authentic sources. Watch what he's going to do. That's what they typically do. because
Rob,
Abbas knows that I have his receipts, which he doesn't have.
Rob, I never
Hold
had
on,
a
hold
full
on, Abbas.
full
I didn't interrupt
conversation
you,
with
did I?
you. So
Didn't I?
don't say I have a conversation with you. You always kick me out. So we never. properly
Yeah,
have
because you
conversation.
reject your books. I don't have time for
I never
watch
had
how you're
more
going
than
to
5
reject it.
minutes
Watch.
conversation with you.
Watch Abbas, how you're going to reject authentic sources, like you typically do. And remember, you even in one of our conversations, it's on YouTube, you rejected even Warsh, Qira'at Warsh. You said it's not Quran. You only accept Hafs. So
Yes,
you're not even a real Muslim,
I
by
did,
the way.
and I have a reason for that.
Yeah, you see, guys, he just confirmed it again. He literally rejects all the Qira'at except Hafs. He's cherry picking Hafs. But
Because
that's a
there's
different
only
topic.
one. There's only
That's
one
okay. It's okay, brother. You're only part-time Muslim. I understand. Look, Ad-Durr al-Manthur, volume 10 by Imam al-Suyuti. Imam al-Suyuti, the expert on hadith, the expert on the Quran. Without him, you don't even know anything about ilm al-rijal and whatnot.
Sorry,
Okay?
Rob, can I just confirm with him? Abbas, do
Yeah.
you agree with about Suyuti? Is
Brother,
Suyuti that someone I can trust if I want to become a Muslim? Can I read Suyuti and become a good Muslim?
If you are saying one thing, if saying to me, if one scholar is like I believe them 100% correct, then the answer is no.
So
You don't need to.
Yeah.
You don't need to. But we watch how he includes authentic sources, which you cannot deny, else you're not even a real Muslim. Watch. And by the way, you, like I said, you're not a real Muslim because you reject Warsh, reject the other qira'ats, you only accept Hafs. So that's not how Islam works. You have to accept all the canonical readings, which you clearly don't.
Do you want to talk about
Ad-Durr
that?
al-Manthur, volume 10
Do
by
you
Imam
want to talk about
al-Suyuti.
that?
We'll talk about it in a different topic. We have to respect the
So why
topic
are
of the
you
host.
mentioning this right now when
Hold
I
on.
can't defend my
Can I
claim?
finish, Abbas?
Go
Can
on,
I finish?
Go on.
On page 525, Surah Al-Hajj, chapter 22, ayahs 52 to 55. Page 525, we have on the page two sources, two hadiths. One of them is the chain of narration, its men are trustworthy, بِسَنَدٍ رِجَالُ ثُقَاتٍ. And the other one says, بِسَنَدٍ صَحِيحٍ. So two reports. Forget about the one here above. Let's go straight to the chain that is Sahih. Do you see it? وأخرج ابن جرير وابن المنذر وابن أبي حاتم بسند صحيح. Does it say Sahih? Yes, it does. عن next page عن سعيد بن جبير قال قرأ رسول الله, the Prophet read بمكة, in Mecca, Surah An-Najm, chapter 53. فلما بلغ, when he reached this part, أفرأيتم, this is the Quran, chapter 53, ayahs 19 and 20. أفرأيتم اللات والعزى ومناة الثالثة الأخرى. Have you seen اللات العزى ومناة الثالثة الأخرى? And Manat, the third, the other, the last. Surah An-Najm, ayah 19 and 20. Now comes Satan. Watch what Satan does. ألقى الشيطان على لسانه. Satan put on the tongue of Muhammad. Satan cast on the tongue of Muhammad. Let's see how evil this is. These are the satanic verses.
تلك
تلك الغرانيق العلا وإن شفاعتهن
My
لترتجى.
God, bro.
The satanic verses, two of them. These are the exalted cranes, the bird idols, the cranes, the bird idols, the female goddesses, and their intercession is hoped for. Oof. Are satanic verses inside the Quran on the tongue of Muhammad when he's reciting Quran, including the satanic verses? Is that something evil, Abbas? Yes, I'm waiting.
Yeah, can I answer?
Yes, I'm waiting.
My question to you is, can you show me the same hadith in any kind of hadith books?
Why would it?
Yeah.
Why?
Wow.
I mean, why would it be in Bukhari? Why would it be in Muslim? Is Suyuti not acceptable? You do realize that all of your hadith are not in Bukhari and Muslim. Like there's other collections.
You want to play that stupid game? I mean, he knows he's playing games.
No. I'm just telling you.
But it actually isn't.
Abbas, are you a Bukhari only Muslim? Are you a Bukhari or Sahih Muslim only Muslim? Like,
no.
I know that you're a Hafs only Muslim. We already established that. What about Are you a Bukhari or Sahih Muslim only Muslim? Are you a part-time Muslim? Again?
Look, as a Muslim, we have criterias of things. Even when it comes to hadith, there are criterias of hadith. Yes.
Okay, the
Even
criteria that it's Sahih. Now what? I showed you it's Sahih. Now what?
Do
And
you
here's, by the way,
know?
my translation for it. Since
Do
it's
you know-
Sahih, you're going with you. This is why I said before I showed you. Didn't I say, guys? It's recorded that he's going to throw the authentic sources under the bus. Didn't I say that? He said. I said it. You see, I'm a better prophet than your prophet because that's what you're doing again. Because the chain, as I showed you, is Sahih.
You need to.
And
hold
here is the
yourself
translation. Read. Ibn Jarir ibn al-Mundhir ibn Hatim reported from a Sahih Isnad, chain of narration from Sa'id bin Jubair. He said, the messenger of Allah read in Mecca, Surah An-Najm 53, when he reached this part, have you seen Lat al-Uzza and another Manat the third? 53 ayahs 19 to 20. Satan in this authentic hadith cast on your prophet's tongue. These are the high cranes, the satanic verses, al-Gharaniq, and their intercession is hoped for. 2 satanic verses. They, the Quraysh said here is the Arabic. They, the Quraysh said, Muhammad did not mention our idols positively until today. Watch what he does. Muhammad does the sujood, your prophet becomes a mushrik. Mushrik, ibn mushrik, like his parents, prostrating to the idols, and all of them prostrated. Fasajada, your prophet, wasajadu, your prophet worshipped the idols. So 2 disasters. Not only did he deliver the satanic verses to his family, and they were pleased with Muhammad, but on top of that, he committed the act of worship, the prostration, prostrating to Allah, Al-Uzza, Wal-Manat. So you follow a satanic mushrik prophet. Answer, please. Ya Allah.
Can I
Yo.
really? Can I really answer?
Yo,
Let
can
me
I
answer
respond?
then. Let me answer then. Let me answer.
I don't think you're adequate to answer. Can I speak?
Yeah, listen, don't come up with
I just want to
Wow.
give
Your
him a
red
correct
flag.
answer. So
Your red
Wow,
flag.
did he just throw
Red flag,
Abbas
give us a
under the
second.
bus? Wow.
No,
He
that's
did.
fine. That's
He
fine.
did.
Let's see. I give
What-
chance to my brother.
Wait,
That's your brother.
So I just want
That's
to
your
ask.
brother,
I just
not
want to ask
mine.
Rob a
Abbas,
question,
just
a
give me
simple
one.
question when it
Red
comes to
flag,
hadith
dude.
science,
Stop,
right?
dude. Stop, dude. Stop, bro. Just
Rob,
relax. You'll get your
what
turn.
happens
You will get
when
your
a
bro.
hadith
If you don't
teacher
Dude,
stop, we're gonna
mute.
drop you.
Hey.
If you don't trust me, we will drop you, bro.
this
Just
kid
relax.
comes
You'll
up
get your
and he
turn.
thinks he runs things over here.
Why
Hey,
can't
bro,
I
show
answer?
some
Why
respect.
can't I respond?
No,
Because
you
because it's
can't.
not your
Your
turn.
turn will come. Shh.
He
Mute, boy.
said I
Okay,
could.
Mute. Thank you.
He
Go
said I
ahead,
can
Abbas.
respond.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, bro. Enzo.
First
Hold
of
on
all,
a second, Abbas. Just hold on. Just give me 1 second.
Wow.
Also, Rob, شوف الحديث من صحيح البخاري كمان, because
Hey,
I actually think it's there as well.
yeah.
But في الحديث موجود بس في العربي.
Yeah.
Like it only exists in Arabic. It doesn't exist in the English.
Yeah. I was
So
yeah.
yeah. So Abbas, just look at this as well, and then we'll allow you to respond. Trust
No
me.
problem. Look.
okay.
Look what I
Is
will
my
show you how they deceive a Pakistani like you, Abbas. Look, because you're not an Arabic speaker and you didn't read the complete Sahih al-Bukhari, else you would have found what we have found, what we discovered, and how they deceive people. Is this Bukhari or not, Abbas?
Yes.
Does it say volume 6 here? Yes or no?
Mhm.
Arabic English, right? Volume 6. This is the Darus Salam edition in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Watch how they deceive Pakistani Muslims like you who don't speak Arabic, because they know you're gullible. You're not going to fact check them. Sahih al-Bukhari, volume 6, in other words. On page 220, chapter 65, the book of commentary. Yes, for the people who do not know, Bukhari, the collection of Bukhari has a book of commentary that explains the Quran, the exegesis for the Quran. Chapter 220. Here is Surah Al-Hajj, the pilgrimage, in the name of Allah, etc. Now, Abbas,
Can you
before I
give me the
ask you
hadith
the question,
hadith reference? Just give me hadith reference so I can.
hold
open
on,
for myself as well,
Abbas,
please.
hold on.
No,
Before
want
I
to read
ask you
from
the
my side as
question,
well at the same time.
Abbas, hold on, bro. Before I ask you the question, look at the page. What do you see? Do you see something strange going on, something fishy going on the page?
There's no translation there.
Thank you. There is no translation there. Now, brother Amin, since it's your request to show, Amin, can you explain to him what is going on?
So what they do for the people who are not able to read or at least understand what they're reading, they hide it from you guys. So notice it's empty, but if you read it right there on the right-hand side and Rob will read it, it'll actually say that Muhammad received satanic verses or that Satan spoke to him or it landed on his tongue.
Exactly.
بس
Look,
دلوقتي يعني الترجمة بس Father, go ahead.
like brother Amin just explained, Muslim scholars, when they translated Bukhari, imagine you're buying Bukhari for $1,000, the complete set, the entire collection. You think you have the correct translation, but you don't.
Brother, what's
They
the
leave
hadith
it out.
number? Give me the hadith number, please.
Hold
Can you give me
on.
the hadith
Like,
reference?
can
Why
I
are you
finish?
not giving me the hadith reference?
Hold
Why?
on. Hold on.
You can still speak, but I open from my side. I know, but what's the hadith reference? There has to be a number as well, hadith number.
Bro,
What's the hadith number?
this is what we're doing. We're showing it to you. This is Sahih Bukhari, volume 6, page 2. This is the actual book. This is not the online publication where they assign numbers to it.
But
This is from
I
the
just saw
actual
the
book.
number. I just saw the number above that. There was a number above that.
What was the
I
number?
mean,
The hadith you're reading, above that there is hadith and there was a number there. There was a
Okay,
number.
I mean, Abbas, just
Show it
listen
to
and
him.
then
Come on,
Listen,
open
do
that
everything
again.
with transparency.
Open
So
up
let's
that
show it to
again.
him again.
Yeah, open up that again. There was a hadith number above that. You see the number, the hadith, the one above. There's a hadith number there. So what are you hiding from? I just want
Where's
hadith
the
number.
I'm the one hiding. Hold on.
Listen,
I'm the one
go
hiding,
closer,
not your
go closer.
scholars.
Go closer. The hadith above that. Hadith above that. There's a number there. There. Yeah. There's
Yeah.
a number there. On the
Yeah.
right as well in Arabic. Yes. There's a number there.
Yes.
Yes. So where's the
Yes.
number for this hadith you just showed me? Where's the number for that? I want a number of hadith.
Abbas, you're not going to throw Bukhari under the bus, just like you did for the rest of the qira'at
I'm
of
just
the Quran.
saying, just give me the hadith.
Is that
number,
what you're
please.
trying to tell us? You want to throw this entire page under the bus?
Okay,
That's what
okay,
he's
give
doing,
me
by the
the-
way. I mean, did you notice? You want to throw it
No,
under the bus?
I'm not doing. I'm only asking for the reference, brother. Is it too much?
I gave you the reference. Bukhari, volume 6.
No, the hadith reference number, not the book volume. I'm going to open the whole book volume and look for the hadith in there.
Yeah.
I want to check.
see
I
at
want
the
to check
top,
for myself.
You see at the top where it says the book of commentary?
I mean, hold on. Guys, Abbas is now talking out of his ignorance. He doesn't know that we're not even quoting a hadith. We're showing you the book of commentary.
Commentary, exactly. Kitab al-Tafsir.
Abbas, you're such a low tier. You never have opened Bukhari before clearly. Else you would have not said what you just said, because you know that in the book of Bukhari, the collection of Bukhari, we're talking about the book of commentary. Bukhari included his commentary for the Quran. This is the ayah of the Quran.
So
Chapter 22, ayah 52.
Okay, this is not Sahih Bukhari, but this is
not Sahih al-Bukhari, guys. Did you hear it?
Okay.
I rest my
so
case.
This is
We
the
can
actual
take it
book.
from you,
That's
guys.
why I told
No.
you. That's why I
Wait a
told
minute.
you. Look,
Wait a
Abbas,
minute.
that's why I told you. This is
Wait
the
a minute.
authentic book.
Wait a minute. Book of comment.
Insanity, bro.
All those these also have reference.
Unbelievable.
You're trying to confuse things. This book
Abbas, let's see how honest. I know you are very dishonest. And
No.
already
James,
seen through you.
James,
Abbas, hold on,
James,
Abbas.
something wrong going
Abbas,
on
I will
here.
ask us a
Why
simple question,
I'm not
Abbas.
getting the reference number? I want to check myself.
Abbas, I will ask
I'm
you a
not-
simple question.
Let me, Rob,
What is
Rob,
the
give
book?
me a second.
Hold
Let me
on.
a second.
I
Abbas,
am not going to
let me
try. I'm not going to
Abbas,
trust
you called
Amin
for me.
or
I'm
Rob
here.
Christians.
Abbas, wait a second.
Yes,
My
I want
brother.
a reference number
He's
here.
hang
Why
on,
they're not
dude.
giving me
Hang on,
references?
hang on.
Okay.
Dude, listen. He's showing you the book number with the volume with the commentary for Surah 2252. Do you understand what I just said now?
I want to check myself, brother. I want reference
Again,
number. If I get the
you
book,
need to get the PDF for Bukhari, Volume
all right.
6, commentary to the English for Surah 2252,
All right.
and the explanation of the commentary will explain why, when it picks up on that particular verse, the explanation, it's only in the Arabic, not translated. Why? You should be more concerned with what it has to say. Now, I agree it's good to have the reference, but I'm telling you, download the book. Sahih Bukhari, volume 6. If you want to show it again, the cover for him, Rob, so that he can,
Yeah.
find the right
No,
one
no.
to download?
Brother, if you can't give me the hadith reference number and I can't
I will
double
give
check,
you. I
then
will give you.
then
You're
okay, then
talking
I
to
can't
Rob
comment.
Christian, right? You're talking
Go
to
on,
Rob
give me the
Christian.
reference.
You remember
Hadith-
me.
hadith
You
reference,
dream
please.
about me during your dreams. Look, again, volume 6. Volume 6. Yeah, you left. Look,
You are just
it's
a,
right
you're
on
just
top.
A, you're just
I'm
a, you're
giving you
just
the
a
reference and you
copycat.
can't stop
All right.
talking.
You're just a
Okay.
copycat of
So I
Christian
get.
Prince, man. What are you talking
whatever.
about?
Abdul.
Go on then.
I'm from now. I will call you Abdul because that's what you deserve.
Even the
Page
Christian Prince, I
222.
spoke to him. He never gave me a chance. So he runs as well. What are you talking about?
Why are you
What are you talking
talking?
about?
Dude, can you stop, man?
You're just
I'm
a
helping
copycat.
you actually now.
Go on.
I'm helping you.
Reference
I'm with
number,
you.
please, yes.
Okay.
Go on, thank you.
Page 220, volume 6. I know you're slow, but write it down before you forget it again, like your prophet used to forget ayahs. It's right literally on top of hadith number 4741. 4741. So Bukhari 4741, right on top of it. So this is on page 221. So if you scroll up again, a little bit up, you'll see how they deceive you by not translating what we have for commentary in the Bukhari collection. Now, question, Abbas. What did your scholars say about the collection of Bukhari? Didn't your scholars all agree that from the front cover all the way to the back cover, so if you buy the entire Bukhari collection, from front cover all the way to the back cover, didn't your scholars say that the entire collection of Bukhari is Sahih? That's why it's called, they're calling it Sahih or not? Answer, please.
Just 1 second, Rob.
Yeah,
Abbas,
yes,
I have
please.
Abbas, my brother. I have it in front of me, and I managed to find it. I literally downloaded what Rob showed us. I have it in front of me, so it's called the Kamal Kalam. Was it Kalamullah, whatever.com, Sahih Bukhari, volume 6. Then you go to A Hadith 4474-5062, page 220. I have it in front of me, right? Let me show it to you if you think I'm joking. So notice now, while you were busy selling your gob, I was actually doing the job of finding what Rob was presenting to us, because again, I believe in being open and honest. Notice I managed to find what Rob Christian was talking about on page 220 when I went to this site over here.
Exactly.
So there is on the page in front of me the missing bit. Now notice I did this while Rob was talking. Instead of going against him, I should have been working towards this hadith. Rob, is this the same one that you have on your page?
Yep. Page 220, exactly.
So notice now, Abbas, we're working with transparency.
I'm on my phone. I'm on my phone right now. Yeah, so I'm not on my computer and all that. So
No
looking
worries,
at
I
you are
got you.
looking.
But do you
I'm at the
agree
same
now?
time engaging with him, and I'm just asking for reference. I'm just looking for the reference. So I want to double check.
I got you. But do you now agree that we are open and honest, that we are showing it on the screen? Because again, Rob is not sitting next to me. I watched what he presented to you, and I did the check myself, and I found it. So now we can see, according to page 220, there's a missing section over here. So the question would be, what does this actually say that they're too ashamed to translate? Now that we've established that, are you willing to let Rob now explain what this actually says?
Answer, man. Come on. And by the way, I asked them a very important question. Are the scholars correct when they said the entire collection of Bukhari from front cover to back cover, all of it is authentic? Yes or no?
Why a question I have to be answered yes or no? Why can't I explain myself?
It's a yes or no question. Didn't your scholars say
no?
That's why they put Bukhari as the most authentic collection of hadith,
Rob,
straight after the Quran. Why it's called
Rob,
Sahih? Because everything
Rob,
inside of it is Sahih.
Rob, let's give him a chance to say yes or no, but then explain.
This is the
Okay,
reason
Abbas?
you
Anyway, he knows it's true, but he won't dare to say it.
Because he will never, you can't engage with him because he never let you answer, never let you explain. Let me explain now.
I
Let me
asked you the
explain.
question twice.
Let
It's
me.
a yes or no
you
question.
say yes or no. No, it's no answer. Is not easy. Yes or no. You have to be understood.
Oh my lord.
Now my
get
answer
to
is
the point.
my answer is short answer is all the scholars say yes, and the long
Thank
answer is this.
you.
The long answer is this. The muhaddisun, the greatest muhaddisun, those who have ilmul hadith, like Khatib al-Baghdadi, like Ibn Salah, what did they say about Sahih Hadith? They say this. Even if the chain is authentic, yet if hadith lacks, goes against Quran Sunnah, goes against Akal, have any kind of hidden defect, we will reject it even if it's authentic hadith. And that is the reason there are many ahadith in Bukhari. You can reject it to see there are hidden defects in
Okay,
them.
here's my
Wow,
question.
Bukhari has
Rob,
hidden
one
defects.
second, please. One second.
We
one
call
second.
them
Abbas,
muallal
Abbas,
hadith.
Abbas.
Muallal have hidden defects.
Abbas, 1 second, brother. I'm surprised that you already throwing it under the bus, but you didn't actually hear what it has to say. I would have been curious and said, listen,
James.
Rob, I don't speak Arabic, but can you please just explain that for me? And after you read it, I'll tell you what I think about it. You've thrown it under the Abbas before you even heard it, bro.
James, I'm so sorry. You guys are so slow, man. Seriously. He asked.
We're the slow ones.
He asked me a question. Did the scholars say Bukhari is 100% authentic? That question I was answering. Even if Sahih any hadith is authentic, they can still be rejected because of the 4 or 5 principles scholars have made. I'm not saying I'm rejecting the hadith. So I'm sorry, you are either biased or either you're slow. You don't get it, what I'm trying to say.
I'm very slow, but it's okay. Rob, can you please get to the point and explain what it says, please?
Yeah,
Go on.
no problem.
Go on. Please,
So guys,
go on.
notice, he rejected the previous authentic hadith from Jalaluddin al-Suyuti. He's in front of you, you heard him. He said that Bukhari has hidden defects, which means he's throwing already Bukhari under the bus.
I didn't
But
say
guys,
Bukhari,
let's
I said
see.
Sahih hadith. Sahih hadith can have defects in them. That's what I said.
Sahih Bukhari
You're not
hadith
listening
had
carefully.
defect. The Muslims, your own brothers, are going to takfir you now, but it's okay. You know,
They
here you're
already
safe
have.
with us.
The many Muslims
With the
already
Christians,
have,
you're
so I don't
safe,
care.
but the Muslims will takfir you for what you just said. But
I
it's
don't
okay,
care about
brother
that.
Abbas, because they will also takfir you for throwing the Warsh Quran at the bus and the rest of the Qira'at too. But that's okay. Now let me translate, because
You
your
Christians already
scholars,
takfir on Catholics
your
anyway.
scholars
Oh.
did not translate it for a Pakistani like you who doesn't know Arabic. So they hide it,
Go on,
as you
go
see.
on.
It's blank.
Enough speech. Just explain. Enough speech.
Yeah, exactly.
Explain now.
Enough speech. Let's do the homework of the scholars, which they failed to do. So I'm going to act like an authentic translator. And my translation is called Sahih International Translation by Rob Christian. Watch. Here is the Arabic, and here is my translation. Ibn Abbas said, وَقَالَ Ibn Abbas, for chapter 22, ayah 52. Here's the ayah of the Quran. إذا تمنى ألقى الشيطان في أمنيته. Okay, Satan, shaitan, cast in his speech, in his what? In his speech. Then Allah abrogates what Satan cast. His umniya is his qira'ah, i.e. the reading of Muhammad from Satan. So even in Bukhari, the satanic verses are confirmed. There you go. Boom. Baked.
And also remember, Abbas, when you were trying to argue with me about the word umniyatihi, remember I told you that in this particular siyaq, in this context, it means his recitation. Because in that hadith, it actually says, I don't remember what it said verbatim, but it said like, yaqulu umniyatihi, or umniyatahu qira'atuhu. His speech. It literally means his speech.
Yep.
This hadith, as far as I'm concerned, goes against the principles.
It's a commentary.
Of the Quran.
It's a commentary. This is Bukhari. It's in his own authentic book. It's in the chapter Kitab al-Tafsir.
No. He said Ibn
Let's
Abbas.
What do you mean no?
Let's give him a chance.
He said
Let's give him a
Ibn-
chance, guys.
He said,
I want to hear what he says.
you say this is not hadith. He's quoting as a hadith that Ibn Abbas says that. So this is a mawquf hadith. This is not marfu hadith, but this is mawquf hadith that Ibn Abbas is saying that. So this is a hadith. Don't say this is not hadith. This hadith is in the section of the commentary of the Quran.
Okay.
Then let me ask you this.
You calling me slow? Seriously?
Abbas, again, because I'm so slow, I need to understand this. So do you accept this or reject this?
I have to verify it. I have to read it myself because
I will help you, Abbas. I will help you.
No.
Let's give him a chance.
I unless I just verify this hadith and I see the chain of that hadith as well, that it says does say Sahih, but as I say, in Sahih there are illat and mu'allal hadith in Bukhari. Albani even makes some Bukhari hadith not Sahih anymore, and Muslim as well. So
Okay.
I have to look into it. I have to look into it now. Rob,
I'm just trying to understand again. I apologize,
I'm not gonna
Abbas. I got you, Abbas. You made it quite clear that some are trustworthy, some are not trustworthy. So some hadiths are sahih, some are not sahih, even though they are still sahih. So this would come back now to my question when it came to the Quran. According to the fact that Muhammad was a bewitched prophet, some of what he said in the Quran is sahih, and some of what he said in the Quran is sahih, but some of the sahih that he said in the sahih Quran is not very sahih. So I can't take his sahih Quran as sahih because it could be also influenced by Satan. According to the Quran itself, listening to a man that is being bewitched by the devil, and the same guy that has been presenting itself in the Quran as the devil, as the mouthpiece of the devil. Remember, the Quran says clearly in a Sahih hadith that Muhammad, he passed away because of the poison he was given at Khaybar. Do you agree with that in the Sahih hadith?
That's amazing how you guys make false comments and in the end you say you agree or you disagree.
I'm asking you, is it true that Muhammad
you
was
made an
poisoned
amazing
and had his heart, he felt as if his aorta was severed?
James, you made an unbelievable cocktail again. You say I'm talking about Sahih Hadith and you making a Sahih Quran. How you conflating Sahih Hadith with Sahih Quran? Come on, man. Seriously.
Because I'm slow. Because I'm slow, let me break it down to you. Hang on a second. Because I'm slow, let me break it down to you. If Muhammad gave us verses in the Quran, do you believe the Quran is Sahih? Do you know what Sahih means? What does Sahih mean?
No Muslim ever used the word the Quran is
Well, I'm using it because I'm trying to show you. I'm trying to show you how ridiculous it is to say to me that something is Sahih, but it's not really Sahih. So if I'm going to the Quran, is the Quran trustworthy? And can I trust Muhammad that gave us the Quran, knowing that Muhammad was bewitched by the devil? Can I trust him?
I'm going to make you understand very easily why I say some hadiths, even they are Sahih, they cannot be Sahih. The reason is in the hadith, Sahih ahadith, Muslim and Bukhari, Muslim and Bukhari, they quoted how old Prophet was when he died. And you know that they contradict each other, how old he was, and they all ahadiths are Sahih.
How old was Muhammad when he died?
Well, there are ahadiths mentioned either he was 65, 60 or 63.
Okay, stop there, please. Stop there. 1 second, please, my brother. One second, Abbas, 1 second. So if I want to come to Islam and I can't trust the people you get your Islam from, are they also bewitched? Because now I don't know. I can't trust Muhammad because he's bewitched. I can't trust the Sahaba because they are making up stories. So what about Islam is then true? How can I trust Islam when it seems as if the Prophet of Islam was bewitched? It seems as if the Sahaba couldn't get the things right themselves. Tell me then, which part of Islam is true with evidence?
Very good question. When you come to Islam, first of all, you see what is the yardstick of Islam, what is the highest authority of Islam. That's what you need to know. People will tell you it's the Quran.
Okay, so stop there then, Abbas. Stop there.
No, why I'm
stopped there? Who did the Quran come from, Abbas?
Man. Seriously,
so who did the Quran come from?
You're stopping me in the middle, brother.
Because I'm holding to what you said.
No,
I'm agreeing with you, brother. I agree with you. The Quran is the highest thing that we can go to. But my question is, who is the one that gave us the Quran? Because according to the Islamic sources, they are saying that the man that gave us the Quran was also bewitched by the devil.
Yeah, it's yes. If the Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam gave us the Quran, and he gave the Quran to Ashaba, and this Quran came to us with tawatur and ijma and tawatur.
So you don't
consensus
trust the
and
Sahaba. Hang on a second.
consensus.
Again, you're starting to annoy me
Who
now.
says-
You're starting to be silly.
Who says I
You
don't
s-
trust Sahaba?
Tell
Who
me,
says
how
that?
old was Muhammad when he died?
I never said I don't trust Sahaba.
How old
Come
was
on.
Muhammad?
That's
Give me one of
why
this
when
again.
you don't
Listen,
pay
Abbas.
attention,
Tell me, Abbas. Which of the three of the you said one was said 62, one said 65,
Right.
one said 60 something. Which one of them do you trust?
right? This is the thing. You don't understand how hadith works. The
I
thing
know
is,
exactly
it's
how
not,
hadith work. I'm
it's
asking
not-
you, which
it's not
one do
Sah-
you trust?
Abbas,
It's
we can
it's-
teach you. Don't worry about
It's
hadith.
not.
I
it's
can
not-
educate you about
yeah,
hadith.
I
And you know I
educate
can.
you. I can
Hang on,
educate
Rob.
you
I
No,
just
you
want to
can.
find out
Bible.
from him.
You
I need
didn't
to
refute
find
me
out.
in any shape or form.
Rob,
Abbas,
I
I'm
can-
going to mute
Rob,
you because
I
I
can
need to
edu-
listen to my question. Which one do you trust that we can go to? Because so far you've thrown Suyuti under the bus, Abbas under the bus, Bukhari under the bus, Sahih Muslim under the bus. Everyone's
The
under
rest
the
of
bus.
the qira'ah, don't forget about it. Warsh under the bus. All of them
Exactly.
under the bus. Yeah.
So I'm asking
Yet he
you so
dares
that
to
I
talk
don't-
about mutawatir qira'at. That's what he said. Guess what?
Yeah.
All of these qira'at are mutawatira, yet he's throwing tawatur qira'at under the bus.
So now my question again, Abbas, is clear. Listen to my question. I'm asking you to name someone that I can actually trust so that we can go to them. Because again, I'm trusting the Quran from a man that is bewitched. You don't know, it says up to 6 months. You said it could be longer. So if he's giving us revelation in the time that he is a possessed man by Satan himself, it tells you that the Quran says that Allah will only protect those that follow him, and he will not protect those that go against him, meaning that follow Satan. The Quran is clear in Surah 15:42. You follow Satan, I will not protect you. Muhammad got bewitched because he wasn't protected by Allah. How do I know what verses he gave us in the Quran, and how can I trust Islam from a bewitched man? Please answer
Exactly.
that.
Very good question.
a lot of false assumptions, a lot of half truths, and then you make it jumble mumble whatever you
So
make.
then correct me, brother.
Yeah, I am. Let me speak, brother. Calm down. Your false assumption is this, that these ahadith Ashaba uttered it 63, 65, 60. That's a false assumption. What we are saying is these hadiths for sure they are contradicted. So where's the problem? Can Ashaba lie? Ashaba would not lie deliberately. They would never. They can make mistakes, but they would never lie. Because they know there's a mutawatir hadith. Muhammad say, anybody lie about me, his place is in hellfire. So we know Ashaba would never lie. But what we're saying is, would Tabi, Tabi, and people down who are saying Ashaba says that, can they make up hadith? Yes, they can. So we said in this chain, there is a problem. Somebody is not telling the truth. Not the Sahabi, they're using the name of a Sahabi, but they are not telling the truth. Either they are mistaken, but they all three can't be right. So my point was, if hadith contradicts, obviously, even if it says Sahih, they can't be right. So that's the thing we need to look, and scholars already looked up onto those are hadiths. That's why they got principles of a hadith. Even hadith chain is authentic, we can still reject it according to the 5 principles. Then you saying about Suyuti, I'm rejecting Suyuti. I'm saying my yardstick is Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's my yardstick. Can I disagree with
But
scholars?
your yardstick committed shirk.
Allah says in the Quran, yes, I can disagree with a scholar. Ya ayyuhallazina amanu.
But your yardstick committed shirk by bowing down to Allah al-Uzza wal-Manat. Your yardstick, your prophet committed shirk, and we proved it from the authentic source.
No, it's not authentic. I'm saying that this is
What?
Look, because if Suyuti says it's authentic, that doesn't make it authentic, because it's not in the book.
This is why, Abbas, please listen to me, brother. This is
Wow.
why
It's
I'm
just-
asking you.
Who
Who do you trust? Who can I go to? Because you said to me, you trust Allah first, and then you trust Muhammad after. Muhammad was bewitched. He was bewitched.
He
So
was
you
under the spell
trusting
of
a
magic.
bewitched
He
man
was under the
over
spell
the
of magic.
Sahaba who are not bewitched. I'm asking
What-
you, do you put all your faith in a bewitched man?
What we are saying is, and not I'm saying it, it's a consensus ijma of the ummah that when Muhammad Sallallahu under the spell of magic, he was protected. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protected the revelation. Allah will never let the revelation mixed with whatever if he's saying
That's
something
nonsense.
wrong. This
That's
is the
nonsense.
consensus. This is the consensus of the Ummah, that the revelation was protected by Allah because He was protecting it.
Okay,
So,
well, again, stop,
revelation
please,
wasn't mixed.
stop, Abbas, stop, please. Give me Quran verses, because again, I'm going to take you back to the Quran, and we're going to see what the Quran says, right? Watch this. In Surah 15, we'll start at 39 to give you a bit of context, and we'll go to 42. Iblis says, "Oh my Lord, because you have put me in error, I will make wrong fair seeming to those on earth, and I will put them in the wrong, except thy servants among them,
Right.
since among them sincere and purified." He said this. All these in brackets for you guys to help you. It says,
Brother, I agree
"This is
with you on
indeed
that
a way
already.
that
Why
leads
are you
straight
repeating
to
it?
me."
I
Listen
agree.
to the verse. "For over my servants no authority shall you have except such as them who put themselves in the wrong and follow thee." So according to Surah 15:42, the Quran tells us that only those that follow Shaitan will be influenced by Shaitan, correct? According to the verse.
Authority or Satan, and you can never prove that Satan have authority over Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
Yes, we did,
How,
and we
dude,
did.
this is the
No,
satanic
you did-
verses
no,
and him
no.
being bewitched. Come on.
Satanic verses you are quoting from Suyuti.
Okay,
and
watch
you show
this.
me,
Watch this
and
again.
you show me some
If
Arabic
Allah,
you
I
translated.
need
Come
to read you
on.
this. Now you
No,
really
no,
being
hold on,
silly.
James,
Now you're being
James.
silly.
hold
Hang
on.
on. I need to ask this question. When Muhammad got bewitched, was he still protected by Allah?
Protected in what sense? His health was affected. Yes, magic affected his health.
And his brains too, right?
Not his heart. His heart was Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. His heart was protected.
Why are you
Satan-
lying? Why are you lying, Abbas?
You
Why are you
cannot-
lying about your prophet?
You cannot prove that Satan affected his heart.
Yes,
Watch,
I
watch
can.
this.
He was
Yes,
saying-
I can. What if I can? What will
You
you
show
do?
me Suyuti. You show me Suyuti and you show me some Arabic. You say
Yeah,
this
I'll show you Arabic. I will put the Arabic between your eyebrows. What about
It's
that?
okay, Rob. It's okay. But again, notice what he's doing. Because Bukhari tells us, you said it only affected his health. Let's see if it affected his mind. Because according to Bukhari, it says that the Prophet continued for such and such a period, imagining that he was doing dingy, having sexual relations with his wives. That's physical. He was literally sand humping stuff. He was lying on sand dunes thinking it's his wife. So it's not just a mental thing. It's not his health. He was literally sleeping with things that wasn't his wife. Another hadith says that the magic was worked on the Prophet so that he began to fancy that he was doing this thing when he wasn't actually doing it, meaning it affected his mental state. So again, the mental state of Muhammad is at question over here, because mentally we can see that Muhammad wasn't in his all his right senses. Muhammad was behaving outside of what he was normally would call normal behavior. He was saying and doing things that was against what he was actually saying and doing. My question is, when Muhammad was bewitched by Shaitan, was he under the protection of Allah according to Surah 15:42?
As we know, the Quran comes to the heart of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. You agree with me? So, to the heart. Revelation comes to his heart. So was his heart was affected by the Satan?
Yes.
Controlled by Satan?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Well, show
Let
me
me-
that his
James,
his heart
give me
was
the screen for a second so I can
Because-
educate him one
because-
more time.
Because the revelation Allah revealed.
Hold
that
on,
the
Abbas.
angel
You asked a
Jibreel
question. Hold on.
bring gifts to
Baby
his
steps,
heart.
Abbas. Hold on. Your question was his heart affected? Of course, watch. We go to Fath al-Bari, the explanation for Bukhari. I'm not a scholar, you're not a scholar. So let us go to the Amir himself of the Sharh, the Amir, the expert on Bukhari himself in his exegesis called Fath al-Bari, the Sharh, the explanation for Bukhari. Okay, volume 10, Juz' al-Ashir, volume 10. On page 246, okay, page 246 for the explanation for, if I scroll back to the previous page so you can see it. So this is page 243, and Imam Ibn Hajar will explain Bukhari 5765 about the black magic. The same hadith that the brother was reading for. Okay, look, on the next page, we have the explanation, the sharh, on page 246. Watch. Ibn Qayyim said, among the most beneficial and most powerful medicines available is the resistance to black magic, sihr, which is the effect of evil spirits. So remember, evil spirits are controlling your prophet. With divine medicines of remembrance, supplication, and reading. If the heart, pay attention, your only argument is the heart. If the heart of your prophet is filled with Allah, with his remembrance, and has a daily recitation of the Quran, supplication to Allah and turning to him, then that is one of the greatest reasons preventing black magic, sihr, from affecting him. And he doubles it down on the same page. Watch. Ibn Qayyim said, Qal Ibn Qayyim, the power of magic influence is for the weak heart. So your prophet has a weak heart. And for this reason, it often affects women. Phone call. Maybe your prophet is a woman, child, and ignorant. Maybe your prophet is an ignorant, because evil spirits are only and only active on souls which they find ready and suitable for them. So what is heart? Was his heart affected? Yes. Boom! Baked.
So I just want before we continue and share, I just want Abbas. Please, my brother.
Such a childish conclusion.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Actually,
Abbas, focus.
Ibn
Focus.
Qayyim.
I'm doing what your dawah bros do.
Guys, I want to give Abbas a chance.
No,
Abbas,
yes,
my brother,
thank you.
Please.
Actually, give me a chance then.
I am giving you a chance, but when I'm trying to get some order, then just hang on a second. I'm giving you a chance.
Right.
Go on.
Okay. Actually, Ibn Qayyim is actually agreeing with me. Ibn Qayyim is saying that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was protected because of his recitation of the Quran in his heart and all that. So the magic will not affect him. So then
it did affect him.
But it did affect him for at least 6 months.
Bro, man, Allahu Akbar.
Okay,
what a liar!
I just want to show you guys this.
Shame on you,
I just want to show you this.
You guys are seriously.
Abbas,
shame on you.
Abbas, I want to show you
Shameless person.
Hang on,
I listen to you guys, but why you not letting me
you're
speak?
lying about what Muhammad
You
was
lie all the
affected.
time.
Was
You guys are
Muhammad
lying all the
affected?
time. I let you speak, and then I
Was
correct you.
Muhammad affected by the black magic?
Again, you asking me a question, and
Because
yes or
you
no
said he
answer.
wasn't.
Again, brother, what I'm saying is what Ibn Qayyim is saying that. Hadith says one thing. Yeah, what I'm saying, Ibn Qayyim is saying that the magic will not affect the weak heart. And before that, it says Muhammad's heart was protected because the Quran was in his heart. So Ibn Qayyim is
No, that's not what he said. I think you're
Ibn-
illiterate. I think
Ibn-
you're illiterate like the prophet.
Ibn Qayyim is actually saying the other way.
Give me the screen one more time. Let him read it. Let him read it. I think he's illiterate like his prophet. Abbas, you're illiterate. Read it. Read.
It cannot be Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Read. Abbas, read. You're going to read it. I think you're illiterate. Let's see if you can read and understand what you read. Read.
Make it bigger. I'm on my phone.
Yeah,
Right.
big.
There. Ibn Qayyim said, among the most beneficial and most powerful medicines available is the resistance to magic, which is the effect of evil spirits, with divine medicines of remembrance, supplication, and reading. I mean, that's the medicine against those evil spirits. Remembrance, supplication, and reading.
Too bad Muhammad had no medicine because he fought for it. So continue.
If the heart is filled with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with his remembrance, and has a daily recitation, supplication, and turning to him, then that's one of the greatest reasons preventing magic.
What does it say here?
Preventing
magic from affecting him. Question.
Affecting him.
Did magic affect your prophet?
But no, what Ibn Qayyim is concluding.
Answer the question, Abbas. Did magic affect your prophet?
But did Ibn Qayyim
Did
Yes or
black
no,
magic,
man?
answer the question, did black
did
magic
Ibn
affect your
Qayyim
prophet?
agree? I'm talking about from
So
Ibn
in
Qayyim's
other
behalf.
words, your prophet's
I
heart
am
was not
no,
filled with Allah.
but
Boom.
Ibn Qayyim is not
Stop
saying
lying, Abbas. Abbas,
that.
people are
I'm
seeing
Ibn
through your
Qayyim,
lies.
if
Have
I'm
some
Ibn
shame.
Qayyim, if
Wallahi,
I'm
you
Ibn
have no
Qayyim,
honor, you
I
have
would
no
say
dignity,
no.
Abbas. I'll say
Ibn
it as it
Qayyim
is.
is
You have no honor,
Ibn
you have no
Qayyim,
dignity, because we read it
Qayyim is
together.
rejecting it. Ibn Qayyim is rejecting it.
Okay.
No, he
not agreeing
doesn't.
with
Show
it.
me where.
Okay.
Where?
He
He
said
doesn't say that. He doesn't say
Are
that.
you saying?
Abbas, he doesn't
Are you
say
saying?
that.
Are you saying
You're lying,
Ibn
man.
Qayyim? Are you saying Ibn Qayyim is a believer that Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam have nothing to do with Quran? Quran is not in his heart. Are you saying that?
I just want to ask one more question,
Are you really
Abbas, because
stupid?
you've passed the goodbye date. I want to ask you this.
No
According
worries.
to the Quran, how did Muhammad receive revelation?
Okay, I think this question you opening another kind of
No, this is the same thing.
another
I'm showing you
question which
something.
no
Same thing, dude.
I came
Listen,
here-
same thing. I don't leave the topic. I'm a very topic-based person. According to Islam, when Muhammad received revelation, did he hear the ringing bells?
There are many ways he received revelation.
me read
not
it.
only not
Let me
only
read it
ringing
for you.
bells. Not only ringing bells. There are
Hisham
many
asked
other
the
ways.
messenger of Allah, how does revelation come to you? He said, like the
That's one
ringing
hadith.
of a bell. And when it departs, I remember what Allah said, what the angel said. Do you agree with that?
This is only one hadith.
I know, in this one
there are-
instance,
there
do
are
you
the-
agree with this?
Yes,
Yes.
he heard the ringing of the bells, as hadith says as well. Yes.
Beautiful. So remember what you said now, that when Muhammad hears a ringing bell, then the ringing bell is inspiration and revelation. Sahih Hadith, Sunan Abi Dawud, 2556. Abu Hurairah reported that Muhammad said, the bell is the wooden musical instrument of shaitan. So every time Muhammad heard a bell ringing, was he getting revelation or was that Satan? So again, my point is, if Muhammad was bewitched and he was getting revelation from Satan, it tells us clearly in the hadith that Muhammad, when he used to receive revelation, it was like a ringing bell came to him. Yet the musical instrument of shaitan is the ringing bell. So each time Muhammad heard the ringing bell and was given revelation, how do we know that he wasn't getting revelation from shaitan? This is Sahih. Both these hadiths are Sahih. Sunan Anasai 933 Sahih, showing you that Muhammad received the sound of a ringing bell. And then in Sahih, in Sunan Abi Dawud 2556, Sahih says that the ringing bell is the sound of shaitan. So I'm asking you, when Muhammad received this ringing bell, was he visited by the devil?
Okay, let me answer you a very quick one. First of all, that hadith is talking about different contexts. He's talking about the music instruments and all that. It's totally different context. Here is talking about the revelation comes, but now the question is how we trust it was not from Satan. How we trust is this. Quick answer is this: the whole the Quran. When you read the whole Quran, the Quran, the wisdom in it, the education in it, the message in it, it cannot be from evil force. It has to be from the divine, good God, good creator. It cannot be from a bad force. You cannot drink alcohol. Don't go near zina. Be just, be kind, be good to your
Zina or
parents.
zina, Abbas? Zina or zina?
Okay, zina. Do not be bad
Zina,
to your parents.
not zina.
Zina. Okay, fine, zina. You correct me, fine. All the good things cannot be from devil. So the overall
this is
answer
my whole point again, Abbas.
even if it's the bell sound coming, but how we know it's not from Satan? The message of the Quran. That's the quick answer.
Okay, so again, I just want everyone to notice now, right? So the ringing bell is a sign of Satan because that's his instrument. That's his instrument.
No.
Again, I gave you a chance. I didn't interrupt
Ringing
you. Just
bell
hang
is
on
not
a
a
second.
sign. You're getting it wrong. It's not a sign of Satan. It's not saying that. It's different context.
What is the musical instrument of Satan?
Yeah.
Say it. What is the musical instrument of Satan? Say the word. What is the musical instrument of Satan according to Sunan Abi Dawud 2556? I'll tell you, it is the bell. The bell is the wooden instrument or musical instrument of Satan. According to Sunan An-Nasai 933, how did Muhammad receive revelation? What happened when the revelation came to you was the question to Muhammad. He said, like the ringing bell. So when Muhammad heard ting-a-ling-a-ling, he was receiving a revelation, yet we know that the bell is the musical instrument of Shaitan. Now, we know that Muhammad is bewitched. We know that according to the Quran, when Muhammad was in the cave, that he wasn't visited by someone that came to him and held him and spoke nicely to him. No, according to what happened in the cave, Muhammad was treated badly. He was manhandled according to the Quran. Remember what it says. According to the Quran, according to Islam, when the spirit came to him in Bukhari, it says, the angel caught me forcefully and pressed me so hard that I could not bear it anymore. Then he released me. Now, we're going to get to how the devil and how evil spirits in the Bible treat people. So notice now he gets squeezed, he gets forced, he's pressured, and then he released me. And again, he said to me, read. And I replied, I do not know how to read. Thereupon he caught me again and pressed me a second time till I could not bear it anymore. Does that sound like something that's loving and coming from God, or something evil that wants to hurt you? He then released me again and asked me to read again. And I replied, I do not know how to read. Thereupon he caught me for the third time and pressed me. Notice this, according to the Bible. In the Bible, in Mark 5:5-9 says, and when Jesus had come out the boat, immediately there he met out of the tombs a man with an unclean spirit. Always and always, night and day, he was in the mountains and in the tombs, crying out and cutting himself with stones, meaning he was hurting himself because of the unclean spirit, like Muhammad was being hurt. Foaming at the mouth was another example, according to Islam, when it says, after an session of shivering and shutting his eyes, there used to come over him what resembled a swoon. His face would foam and he would roar like a young camel. According to the Bible, in Mark 9:20, it says, so they brought him another person with an unclean spirit. And the spirit saw Jesus. It immediately threw the boy into convulsion. He fell to the ground, rolled around, foaming at the mouth. Continuing again, remember what it said. It said, and he used to roar like a young camel. In the Bible again, in 9:39, the spirit seizes him and he suddenly screams out. It throws him into convulsions, so that he foams at the mouth. He scarcely ever leaves him and is destroying him. Now, according to what we can see in the Bible, it is an evil spirit. This is why Ibn Ishaq says, he said, I fear lest I should become a magician, lest one should proclaim me a follower of the jinn. And again, I fear lest should be madness or demonic possession in me. So when Muhammad was met in the cave, he already felt as if he was being attacked by something evil. This is why he runs home to Khadija, cover me, cover me. Not, oh, Khadija, guess what I saw today? An angel. No. He was so scared that he ran to a woman and asked her to protect him. Again, Muhammad complains. He says, I don't want to be associated with being a poet or a madman or someone that is possessed. He says clearly, please, I don't want to be this. So how in the world, and this is my question and it hasn't been answered, how can I trust a man that is bewitched by the devil to give me a Quran that is supposed to come from God?
To justify, but I'll try. As I say, reading the whole Quran, when you see the beautiful teaching of the Quran, which Bible come nowhere near of the teaching of the Bible, be just, even be against your enemy. You have to be just, be kind, be righteous, be help the travelers, and be truthful. The truth will come and the falsehood perish. All these beautiful teachings in the Quran, and this is all coming from devil. This is just like total ignorance. Anybody think that is come because of the bell, because he heard the bell. What about the hadith is talking about? What about the hadith is talking about is the context. For example, there's another hadith as well, when the animals, they're hanging bells in their necks. It's like the sound of the devil. Maybe there's a dog He's talking about different contexts, and the Christians have their bells in their churches. So he's talking about this Christians calling to this polytheism worship. This is the sound of a bell. It's like a devil talking about the churches. So it's different context.
Hang on. When Muhammad received, hang on. Watch what you said. You said when Muhammad heard the ringing of the bell, it was like the judges.
Why I have to hang on? Why I have to hang on? Yes.
Because you're talking absolute rubbish.
No,
absolute rubbish.
I'm saying that
you lied about the Quran. Hang on a second. You lied about the Quran, talking about peaceful, and the Quran gave us this and tells you how to help travelers. All rubbish, abrogated with Surah 9:5. Don't lie about your Quran, because I have forgotten more about Islam than you remember.
Okay, you're just muting me again and again because you can't take the truth. This is just so obvious. The truth comes and falsehoods shake. That's what's happening with you guys. I'm just saying that how do you know the context of that bell? Where does it say every single bell is from Satan? It has to be Satan. We're saying we don't know what's the context behind it. Hadith is not like he's sitting on his desk and he's writing, okay, this is how it is. Hadith is on the moment. Things happen on the moment. Somebody asks a question on the moment, and then he's contextual things happening. So the hadith is all science. You need to understand why he said that, why he didn't say that, what is the reason. So you're generalizing it. Every single bell is from Satan.
I'm going to ask you the question one more time, Abbas. I'm going to ask you one more time before we end. I need to answer the question. Listen to the question.
I'm answering.
Would you trust a man? Just to sum it up with this. Make it make sense with what I'm asking you, not what I'm not asking you. Listen to my question. Would you trust a man, according to Islam, that was bewitched, that wanted to unalive himself by taking him up to the top of the mountain and throwing himself down? Would you trust a man that takes his adopted son's wife, marries a 6-year-old to give you a Quran that came from God?
Right. That's not Muhammad. Is what you're talking about. That's not Muhammad. Apart from the magic thing is right, but the other thing about the mountain thing, I already told you, that's not this. This is the illat in the hadith, defected hadith. And you're talking about married with his adopted.
Can you show me anyone that says that's a lie? Show me someone, show me a scholar that says that hadith is a lie.
Yeah, there are scholars who say that. Yeah,
show me one scholar that says that this hadith about Muhammad going to the top of a mountain, wanting several times to throw himself down, is a lie.
James, he needs to be careful because I'm watching, and everything he says from now on will be used against him.
Yeah, I listen. If I'm wrong, if somebody correct me, I'm not ashamed.
I just corrected you.
I'm wrong.
I just corrected you.
No, you did not.
Your Quran says, if you in doubt, come to those that read the previous scriptures. I'm telling you that your Quran teaches.
You just mentioned it now.
I'm telling you that your Quran taught that a man, that Islam, the main guy, the one that you go to, he was wanting to unalive himself. He was bewitched by the devil.
No, he didn't. I already answered you. Why are you repeating yourself? No, he didn't. That was a balag of Zohri.
Show it to me.
That we say he is. As we have heard, he did not say who told him.
Show it to me.
That's how.
Show me that he didn't.
No. That's true that he says that as we have heard. You agree with that? That Zohri says as we have heard.
That's not the only one. That's not the only explanation we have. We have many. Ibn Ishaq tells us clearly. Ibn Ishaq says to me, woe is me, poet or possessed. Never shall Quraysh say this of me. I will go to the top of the mountain and throw myself down that I may unalive myself and gain rest. Okay. So again, I'm giving you Ibn Ishaq, your source. I'm giving you Sahih Bukhari, your source. I'm telling you from your sources, your prophet that you want to go to was a bewitched man that wanted to unalive himself.
Do you know Ibn Ishaq was kicked out of Medina because of his lying about Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Do you know that?
So now he's a liar then.
Do you know that Imam Malik was one of them in Medina who kicked him out because he was making up so many stories about Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam?
Hang on, Malik. Again, hang on a second.
Imam Malik, who was one of the big scholars, he was among those people in Medina.
In what year was this? In what year was this, Abbas?
This is the first century.
The first century. You absolute dummy. Ibn Abbas, not Ibn Abbas, Bukhari was writing all of this 200 years after Muhammad.
Ibn Ishaq. You say Ibn Ishaq.
I'm talking about Bukhari, man.
No, I'm talking about Imam Malik. I didn't mention Bukhari. What are you talking about?
I was talking about Bukhari.
No, I say Imam Malik. You say Ibn Ishaq. You
I
say
said,
Ibn
Can I
Ishaq,
step in,
and-
James? Hold
and
on.
then
I want to
then I-
step in
then
for a
I-
second.
Bukhari confirmed
No,
this. That's what I said. Sorry, Rob, yeah, go on.
Open your ears. I say Ibn Ishaq.
Abbas,
I say Ibn Ishaq was kicked out of Medina.
you are not going to lie about Imam Malik, and here's why. Look,
Mhm.
first of all, you're lying about Imam al-Zuhri, and here's why. Let me read what the scholars have truly have said. And I have here the information in front of me. And I can pull up the information. Look, here is what famous scholars have said about Imam al-Zuhri. You must learn from al-Zuhri, for you will not find anyone more knowledgeable of the ways of the past than him. This is who? Abdul Aziz. Caliph Umar ibn Abdul Aziz. That's one. Number two, there is no one like az-Zuhri in this world when he entered Medina. No one else would narrate hadith until he left. Who said that? Imam Malik. So he just lied about Imam Malik. More. Az-Zuhri was the depository of the learning of the 7 jurists of Medina and had no equal among men. That's Imam Malik. Let me continue. Az-Zuhri is the best scholar of hadith and the expert in isnad. That's the saying of Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal. Question, why are you lying? Go ahead.
First of all, you say I lie about Imam Malik. What did I lie about Imam Malik?
You're lying about Imam Malik because I just showed you that Imam Malik
What did I lie? What did I
said that
lie?
he is very, very good scholar. Again, let me repeat what Imam Malik said.
What did I lie about Imam Malik?
You said that Imam Malik said that he's not a good guy to listen to.
I didn't even talk about Zuhri. I say Ibn Ishaq. I say
Okay.
Imam Malik kicked
What
out
has
Ibn Ishaq.
what
I
has
didn't say
Imam
about Zuhri.
Ishaq has to do with it? What has the historian Ishaq
I was
has to
talking
do with
about
it?
I was talking about Ibn Ishaq because he was saying Ibn Ishaq says he went up to the mountain. He was quoting Ibn Ishaq, the biography of Ibn Ishaq. He was saying, so I say Ibn Ishaq was kicked out by Imam Malik.
Okay,
Not
Abbas,
Zuhri.
everybody
I didn't
knows.
say Zuhri.
Everybody knows that
Now you
Imam Malik.
apologize. You apologize now that I say lie about Imam Malik. I didn't lie.
Okay,
about
I
Imam Malik.
thought that you were talking about the Zuhri, but
No,
hold
I
on.
wasn't.
Okay, everybody knows that Imam Malik had a grudge against Ibn Ishaq. Everybody knows this. He has a personal vendetta and personal issue with Ibn Ishaq. But did you read what Imam Bukhari said about him? Did you read what Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal had said about him? No, you didn't. Did you know what Imam al-Dhahabi said about Ibn Ishaq? No, you didn't. So why are you cherry picking a personal vendetta between Imam Malik and Ibn Ishaq? Why are you cherry picking?
No, it was not only Imam Malik. The Medina people of Medina.
So do you trust Imam Bukhari? Hold on.
Hold on. Malik, they kicked out
Abbas, listen to me. Do you trust Imam Bukhari?
More than Ibn Ishaq? Yes, of course.
Okay, let's see what Imam Bukhari said about Ibn Ishaq. Are you ready?
Go on.
Okay, let me educate you. Look, here is what he said about Ibn Ishaq. And we're going to open the books and I want you to read it. Here is the book of Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani. In the famous Jarh wa Ta'dil, right? Signs of the men. Are they good? Are they bad? Look. Tahrib al-Tahrib, volume 3 by Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani. So if you want to learn about the science of men, science of hadith, you go to someone like him. Remember, the Amir, Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani. We open the books and we go to what he said about Ibn Ishaq. Let's see what the quotation of Bukhari himself, what Bukhari and Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal said. وقال البخاري, أيوة, beautiful. On page 505 of the same book. وقال البخاري. Read what it says, please. What did Bukhari say about him?
Go on, you read.
You want me to read? Here is the translation. So because you're not an Arabic speaker, read. Imam Bukhari said, I saw Ali bin Abdullah taking Ibn Ishaq's hadith as hujjah, as evidence. And then he continues. Imam Bukhari said, and Ali said, I did not see anyone accusing Ibn Ishaq. So was Imam Bukhari positive? Yes, he was. And here is the Arabic.
Hang on a minute. Doesn't Imam Malik criticize Ibn Ishaq?
He was the only one because he had a
So-
personal
so-
grudge against him.
So here Bukhari
Let
says
me show you
Imam
Ahmad ibn
was
Hanbal. Hold
Bukhari-
on.
was
And Ibn
Bukhari
Mu'in.
told
Here's
you?
Ibn Mu'in.
Was it Bukhari?
First
told
Ibn
you?
Mu'in. Look, Ibn Mu'in. Ibn Mu'in from the same book. Ibn Mu'in was asked about him, i.e. Ibn Ishaq. He said he was trustworthy and he was Hasan in hadith. وَكَانَ حَسَنَ الْحَدِيث.
Did Imam Malik call
So
him Kadab? Yes or no?
one of the
Did he call him
view,
Kadab?
let me finish. One of the view people who had a personal, you know what personal means? Personal issue with Ibn Ishaq was, yes, Imam Malik. But the rest of the scholars, all of them pretty much, said what they said about him. Let me show you what Imam al-Dhabi now said about him. We're going now to go to, let me, no, you hang on. Let me go to Imam al-Dhabi, the student of Ibn Taymiyyah. Let me show you what Imam al-Dhabi said. Let me show you what Imam al-Dhabi said. Imam al-Dhabi said, he is one of the reliable. Look, Imam al-Dhabi about Ibn Ishaq, reliable and sound as narrator. Imam al-Dhabi called him one of the reliable oceans of knowledge. One of the reliable oceans of knowledge. That's Imam al-Dhabi, the student of Ibn Taymiyyah. Brother, don't lie, man. Stop lying, man.
No, hang on a minute. Let me answer. Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, Hisham bin Urwa, Imam al-Nasai, Imam Abu Dawud, they all criticize Ibn Ishaq. Imam Abu Dawud actually said, I cannot take any hadith from him independently. Unless other people are saying the same thing, I cannot take hadith from Ibn Ishaq independently. There are oceans of scholars who criticize Ibn Ishaq.
I just jump in then?
What a deceiver, man.
Let me speak.
I want to just
And very quickly, I'm going to say something very quickly. Who was Ibn Ishaq? Ibn Ishaq, well, actually his name was Muhammad. He was son of Ibn Ishaq. He was son of Ishaq, who was son of Yasar. And who was Yasar and Ishaq? They were former Christians. When Khalid bin Walid went to Iran, he took over, he captured them from the monastery. They were captured and they were made slaves. And very conveniently, his grandfather and father became Muslim, so they will get free. And surprise,
That's
surprise,
the reason, yeah.
their grandson and their son
Unbelievable.
coming out and writing the
So I just
seerah of
want to
Muhammad
just say
Sallallahu
this. I
and
get you.
writing
Abbas.
all the obnoxious things about
Abbas,
Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
Abbas. I
Surprise,
just want to
surprise.
ask you this. So you are basing that one person because one person didn't like him. Can I ask you this? Your
No
Quran,
one person, many people. I
it's
told
okay,
you,
it's
Abu
okay.
Dawud,
Listen to my
Abu
question.
Dawud, Imam Ahmad
You
bin Hanbal,
you have the
Hisham
Hafs
bin
Quran.
Urwa.
I heard you.
You're lying about Ahmad ibn Hanbal.
Hang on,
You
it's
piece
okay,
of
Rob,
shit.
Rob,
I will
Rob,
call you a
don't-
piece of shit
Rob,
now. You're
Rob,
lying about
Rob,
Ahmad ibn Hanbal.
Rob,
You
stop.
piece of shit.
Easy. You can get the live taken down, bro. Hang on. Watch this, guys. He is knocking Ibn Ishaq for being unreliable. Can you tell me, Rob Christian, the Hafs, the guy that gave us the Quran, was he
Yeah.
reliable? Could we take hadith
He
from him?
was a piece of shit, not trustworthy
Rob.
scholar. He is rejected in hadith. He's a liar and a thief and not to be trusted.
So Abbas, the guy
according
that
to
gave you the Quran,
according to Abbas here, he's a shitty narrator, just like Ibn Ishaq. Congratulations, Abbas.
Very good
so
question.
Abbas,
Can I answer?
again, if your
I can answer
Quran,
that.
if your Quran, Abbas, listen to my question. If your
I heard
Quran
you.
is from a guy that is known as a plagiarizer, he's a forger and a plagiarizer, and a lot of people don't trust him, is it okay that we don't trust him?
That's a very good question. And you think nobody asked me this question before, since I say I follow Hafs Kirat? Don't you think anybody ever asked me this question? Very
I
good
don't know,
question.
my brother. I don't know your language.
Let me
of
answer
life
that.
and
Let me
stuff. I'm
answer that.
asking
Let
you,
me.
Why would
I'm
follow
answering you.
Why would I follow someone that forges and plagiarizes and was
I'm
too
answering
weak
you.
to give us hadith because it would have all been daif because he's a liar? Why
I will
Why
answer.
are you taking a Quran from a liar, forger, and plagiarizer?
I will answer you, brother. I will answer you. Patience. Very quickly, I'm going to answer you. First of all, no scholar ever in the past, ever classical scholar says that Hafs plagiarized anything in the Quran. All they say is his hadith, we do not take it. His hadith, we do not trust it. No one ever
Why?
says.
Why?
Show me any scholar. Because
Why
they,
do they say they
I'm
don't
answering
take-
you.
Why
I'm-
don't they
I'm
take
going
his
there.
hadiths?
I'm going there because in hadith he was not good in hadith. He was making up a hadith. Or
So he
even
was a liar. Stop there. Stop there.
Yes.
He was making up
I'm-
hadiths. I'm going to stop because I needed to land. He was making up hadiths, meaning he is a liar. So because he's a liar, we can't trust him with hadiths, but the liar will give you the Quran and you can trust him with the Quran. Yes, sir. That's my baby.
Yep.
He retracted his opinion. He basically said he's a good guy.
Exactly.
Nita. So even for Imam Malik, you were wrong. I just came to tell you this. I can send you the source. It's not a problem. So this is like your Dava script lies. Initially he accused him for something, and after that he retracted his opinion, apologized to him, and give him like big presents, like sign apology, like $100,000, for example, today.
And Sasha,
like
he
this.
also lied about Ahmad ibn Hanbal because Ahmad ibn Hanbal put him in high regards too. So don't lie about Ahmad ibn Hanbal.
Yep.
We showed
I
you
think
Bukhari,
yes,
what
I think
Bukhari
yes, yeah.
said. We showed you Ibn Mu'in, and you are also lying about Imam Malik. Imam Malik, yes, in the beginning had a grudge, but later, as you said, brother Sasha, thank you, he retracted it. But of course, Abbas
Yeah,
will
I
not
can send
mention
you the
that.
source, Nita. It's not the problem. I just came to tell you this. If you want me, just send me the message. I can send you the sources from Islamic pages, so you can check it. It's not a problem. God bless you all. See you.
Thank you, brother Sasha.
So sorry, Dawn, you wanted to add something?
Continue with him. You can.
Listen,
I was just going to run the syllogism because it seems too difficult for him to understand.
very quickly, I'm going to tell you. If you want to talk about Ibn Ishaq and Zuhri, we can talk about some other day. I will come with all the references and the sources. They'll tell you Zuhri was guilty of tadlis and idraj. He used to interpolate things, and he used to do tadlis, meaning not mentioning who the sahabi was, who was the person in the middle, especially that sahabi. So he was a mudallis and mudarrij, and his
No, you're lying again about him. Let me prove. Let me prove that you have no clue, Abbas.
James,
No, Abbas,
James,
no,
this is not fair.
I'm going to
This is
educate
not
you.
fair.
Because I have the receipts. Hold on.
Let's give him 1 minute.
Jumping,
Rob,
about the
this is not
jumping,
fair.
the suicidal
Rob,
incident.
let's give him a minute. Let's give him a minute.
Exactly.
I'm going to put you on it.
But don't talk without
Abbas,
knowledge. Don't do
I'm
that.
going to give you 1 minute because
Yes,
again,
yes.
you are lying. I'm telling you that you're a liar, right? I'm telling you you're a liar and you've got no evidence. I'm
But
calling you a liar. I'm
You can
giving
say
you a
whatever
minute
you
to lie.
can. Okay, you can say whatever you can. Dogs can bark on the full moon. Doesn't make affect on full moon at all.
No,
Doesn't matter. You can
not
say
when we have
whatever you can.
your sources to
I
bury.
am
Rob,
speaking.
let's
He
give him
gave
a
me a
minute.
1 minute. He gave me a 1 minute. Calm down, man. So the many points you make over here about I want to address Hafs. Hafs, you says why you take when he was a liar, because Hafs did not give us the Quran. That's why you're wrong. All we call this is a Hafs recitation before after 200 years of Islam. That's why the people call it Hafs recitation. What this recitation used to call before was Al-Qira'atul Amma, the common recitation. And that common recitation, Asim learned from Abdul Rahman al-Sulami, who learned from Abdullah bin Masud and Hazrat Ali, and they learned from Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So that recitation was continuous recitation. I can bring the sources next time if you want. Those were recited by all Muhajir and Ansar, used to call Al-Qira'atul Amma. That's what Hafs adopted from Asim, and later on, after Hafs died, they start calling it Hafs recitation. He doesn't give us the
Stop there. I
Quran.
gave you a minute. I want to just add to this. I want to add again. Notice now, right? Notice. You didn't say that he wasn't a liar. You said he used to make things up. So yes, Hafs was a liar. Can you give me any evidence? Now listen to my question. Of the Quran that was before Hafs, so I can compare that Quran, because now you said it was the common Quran. So remember, we have no Uthman Quran. We have whatever was given to us by Uthman. So we've got no Uthman Quran. We've got nothing after Uthman. Now we've got Hafs. We've got nothing before Uthman. So we don't have the Quran from Muhammad. We have now something between someone, and Hafs the liar gave us a Quran. Again, based on the bewitched prophet. So can you prove that you can compare what you have today, the Hafs, with, because remember, your Quran is only 101 years old. It was in 1924 that it was created. The Hafs Quran was accepted in 1924 as the standard Quran. Before that, can you compare the Hafs Quran with what came before Hafs Quran?
Again, I don't know if it's ignorance or it's just a lie that you say Hafs is 101 years old when we know that Ottoman Empire have Hafs Quran common in their empire. Ottoman Empire.
And you said common, correct? You said
yes,
common.
Because there were other recitations were there. But the Ottoman,
Beautiful. So they took a common recitation.
Yeah,
The
they
most
make it
common recitation,
I
and they use the most common recitation, which was Hafs.
No, you misheard me. I said they make it common in their empire. Their Ottoman Empire, they say Hafs is the right one. We're going to make this one the recitation.
So hang on. So there were many different other Qurans, but they chose this one as the correct one, correct?
Look, I'm not denying there be other recitations. Obviously, verse is there. Obviously, I'm not denying that.
Okay, so listen to my question. Listen to my question.
If you
in 1924,
look into that,
in 1924, the Hafs Quran was accepted because it was the most commonly used Quran, correct?
You're lying again. Not 1924.
I'm asking a question. Asking a question.
500-600 years ago, when Ottoman Empire came into power, not 1924. The Ottoman Empire was finished in 1924.
It was standardized in 1924. One Google search will show you that. I told you the biggest problem with Islam today is the
Google
internet.
Search, yeah. And I'm telling you, look for search a little bit more and see what at Ottoman Empire. You say Hafs Quran was only 101 years old. That's what you said. You lied about that. You call me liar?
Again,
you lied.
Again, I'm going to have
no,
to
you say
because you're not listening. I'm going to have to mute you to listen. In 1924, in Egypt, in Cairo, the Hafs Quran was standardized because it was the most common Quran used, even though we have evidence of over 20 or 30 different Qurans. But because it was standardized, because it was the most widely used Quran. Now again, you saying that he wasn't good enough for hadiths because he was a liar. You said he used to make things up. So the guy that made things up is the author of your Quran. So you take your Quran from him. So it's the same for me when I look at a bewitched prophet in Islam. The guy is bewitched by the devil, giving us Islam, lying about splitting moons and flying donkeys to mosques that don't exist. You accept all of that as gospel. This is all true, even though it's coming from a man that must be possessed in the brain, in the heart, because what comes from the heart comes out the mouth. So if Muhammad is saying, listen, I flew on a winged donkey from the Haram Mosque to Al-Aqsa Mosque didn't exist at the time of the flying donkey episode. Again, he goes to the heavens. He has conversations with all the prophets in the heavens. Does that sound like a man that is mentally okay or someone that's mentally disturbed? Bewitched means that you're not in your own senses. You are making things up as you go. And we can see as evidence from the Quran and Muhammad and your sources, your Bukharis, your Sahih Muslims, your Ibn Ishaq, all these sources are confirming that Muhammad had to have been possessed. He had to have been lost up in the Logos because he wasn't acting as a normal person would. I can't be bothered with him anymore. We've gone in circles with him. Rob, I'm nearly done. Did you want to add something, brother? I apologize. Right.
Yeah.
No.
Notice how he gave you only half truth about Ibn Ishaq, and we can show you the sources. We can put it on the screen. How Imam Malik retracted. We have the receipts that Imam Malik retracted what he said about Ibn Ishaq. And you can by simply doing a Google search, peace be upon him, you can find it. Look, simple Google search, because Muslims love Google, peace be upon him, more than their prophet. Okay, watch. Simple Google research. Imam Malik retracted his opinion about Ibn Ishaq. If you type that in Google, peace be upon him, you'll get, yes, it is narrated that Imam Malik retracted his harsh words about Ibn Ishaq. And you know, you can read the entire stuff. So yes, Brother Sasha was correct. And if Abbas earlier lied, he only gave you half truth. He only told you what Imam Malik said in the beginning, but not what Imam Malik later said about Ibn Ishaq. That's one. Regarding the suicidal incident of Muhammad, what Abbas left out, and I showed you earlier, guys, what the scholar said about the Zuhri, and then after I refuted him, he said, no, I was talking about Ibn Ishaq. Now, then he came later, he said, Zuhri is accused of tadlis and whatnot. Yet I showed you what the scholars, like Imam Malik, said about the Zuhri. One more time. Imam Malik said, there is no one like a Zuhri in this world when he entered Medina. No one else would narrate hadith until he left. That's Imam Malik about the Zuhri. Now what Abbas doesn't know, because he's a Begistani, he doesn't know Arabic, he doesn't do his homework. He said, this is Balaghat al-Zuhri, or this is what according to Zuhri, but what he doesn't know that al-Zuhri actually does quote people in the chain of narration. Look, Tarikh al-Tabari, the history of al-Tabari, volume 2 by Imam al-Tabari himself. We have a chain of narration without any defects, where Imam al-Zuhri, where the scholar al-Zuhri is mentioned. Look, after from Ibn Jarir, and then he says, يحدث عن الزهري عن عروة عن عائشة إنها قالت. So Imam al-Zuhri does mention someone in the chain, and from Aisha. So there's no issue with the chain of narration about Muhammad who wants to jump from the high mountains, from the Jabal, min al-Jabal. So there's no issue with that Bukhari hadith. And Imam al-Zuhri did not lie, and he quotes a tabi'i, and then the tabi'i from Aisha. Done. Boom. Shame on you, Abbas, for lying to everyone. We have your receipts, and we did the homework for you already. Stop lying.
Let me just read this. This is from Piers Taylor. He says, boom shakalaka. Amen for that. Thank you so much. We also have Piers Taylor, which he said earlier, and I forgot to read it. It just got taken, it says, in 2017, I had high hopes that Speaker's Corner Abbas would come to Christ. But yes, he is still peddling his degenerate prophet, Lord have mercy. Notice, guys, the reason again, don't give up on him, and I'll say this, and Rob can back me up on this. When a Muslim starts running away from the sources, when a Muslim starts saying that he doesn't trust, for example, Abbas, and he doesn't trust Bob the Builder and Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck and Goofy and all these people that have given them Quran, notice that this is the start, because what they're literally telling you is that they're losing trust in the people that gave us Islam. Now, notice this. If we're losing trust in the people that have given us Islam, in the scholars of Islam, whether it's Abbas or whether, it doesn't matter who it is, Ibn Abbas, I meant not this Abbas, it just proves that they've got a weak religion that they have to drop. They've got to say, no, we're not going to take Abbas, we're not going to take Ibn Kathir, we're not going to take Al-Tabari, we're not going to take Suyuti, we're not going to take this. Now look what we've done. We've skipped all of that nonsense. We've gone straight to Muhammad. And my question is, would you trust a man that is bewitched? Now, I used this as an example before, and I'll say, well, when you go for a job interview, now I want you to work for me. You come to my house and I'll say to you, well, listen, I need honesty. And you go, listen, I'm the most honest person. And I say, tell me about yourself. And you turn and you say to me, well, listen, man, I'll be honest with you. As a child, this thing came to me, opened up my chest twice, once at 5, once at 10, and took out my insides, washed it and cleaned it, sewed me up, put me together again. But you can't see the stitches because it was done miraculously. And then before I became a prophet, they opened me up again, cleaned me out, yada, yada. And then I was in a cave and this thing came to me and it squeezed me and it hurt me, yada, yada. And then I ran to my wife. In fact, I wanted to unalive myself several times because it was such a bad demonic experience. I wanted to unalive myself several times. And because of that, I had to run home to my wife and she had to protect me. And then, of course, my wife, what she did, she actually did a kind of a striptease to check to see if this truly was a prophet, you know, because according to the Sahaba, according to Ibn Ishaq, this is what she did. And not only that, you know, I also at some point was bewitched by a devil. But not only that, you know, I also married a 6-year-old. I slept with at 9. I've got 11 wives, and you know, I've robbed caravans. Satan has spoken through me. But please trust me when it comes to this job. How many people would actually look at the dude and go, you know what, you have the job. You tick all the boxes. This is the type of person I want for this type of job. This is the person that you tick all the boxes. Would they kick the guy out the office or give him a job? Seriously, would you look at the guy who's sitting there telling you these things and go, and then at the end of it, let's just say at the end of it, he says, and if you give me the job as whatever, I will guarantee you, or I will help you get salvation. I promise you that no matter what job you're applying for, whether it's a job that never meets any person, any human, whether it's like, for example, collecting rats in a drain, even then you'd go, man, this dude, nah, man, he's going to scare the rats. My whole point is that when it comes to the topic about can we trust a bewitched man, hell no. But not only that, we've got to now trust him that he's the best example to mankind, a prophet from God. And because he's the prophet from God, he's going to give us a Quran, a book from God, even though he has been bewitched by the devil and has spoken words from Satan. He's going to give us the Quran, a true book from the God above. So now if he is going to be this best example and he is representing this God and presenting this God to us, how many of us are going to go, wow, that sounds great? You have to be a Muslim to accept this. Only a Muslim is willing to ignore all of this, every single thing, everything, and go, yeah, but come on, man, you know, he was cured afterwards, or yeah, but you know, she was mature at 6, or yeah, you know, he was only possessed maybe 1 day or 1 hour, or you know. Do you guys realize how much of work goes into trying to be a Muslim when you're looking at topics like this? How can you be a Muslim and follow a prophet that has a history of being bewitched? The satanic verses, Rob didn't come up with it. I didn't come up with this. This is coming from Islamic sources confirming this. The Quran says that Allah will only protect those that follow him. And that if they don't follow him, then Allah will step back and Shaitan can take them. And Shaitan will only influence those that are following him. Muhammad got bewitched because he was following Shaitan. This is why they run from the hadiths, because the hadiths confirm what the Quran just said, that if Muhammad was making up stuff, then Allah will seize him by the hand and sever his aorta. The Quran tells us. Sorry, go on, bro.
Yeah, Brother James, remember we did not address what he said when we showed him the Bukhari collection. Before you close, brother, it's very important because I'm a person, when I hear a Muslim talk, I get triggered and I must address any claim and any lie that he says. And you notice we addressed every lie about Ibn Ishaq, about the Zuhri. We addressed all of it. Remember when we showed him the translation of Bukhari? So if you give me the screen from one last time, then I will drop, brother. And this was an amazing live stream. And I hope everybody will smash that like button, guys, for the algorithms, because Brother James is doing an amazing job. Thank you, brother, for your work and time. Look, guys, we showed him like 45 minutes ago, we showed him the Bukhari collection, right? And we showed him how when Muslims translate these collections, they leave out embarrassing stuff and they will not translate it. So they left it blank. And I gave you the translation for it because now I'm acting like a true, authentic translator because Muslims are not translating. Now, guess what? He said, I don't know if this is authentic or not from Ibn Abbas. But guess what? We did the homework already for Abbas and the Muslims who don't do their homework. In Majma' al-Zawaid wa Manba' al-Fawaid, look how old this book is, guys. It turned yellow and they even wrote with pencil on it. Look with the stamp here and everything. You see it? Majma' al-Zawaid wa Manba' al-Fawaid, volume 7 by the Imam al-Hafiz al-Haythami, Sunni giant classical scholar, in his very old book, as you see on the screen. On page 115 in the Arabic, we have an authentic chain of narration, and all the men in the chain are of a sahih, which means the same people that you can find in the chains of narrations in Bukhari or Sahih Muslim. When it says rijalhuma rijal sahih, the men in the chain are of Bukhari and Sahih Muslim, in other words. Guess who is in the chain? Ibn Abbas. An Ibn Abbas. For what Sa'id bin Jubair, his successor, described, Inna Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam kana bi Mecca. Muhammad was in Mecca. Then he was reading Surah An-Najm. He read Surah An-Najm till he reached ayahs 19 and 20. Did you see Allat al-Uzza wa Manad, the third order? Then Satan was put on his tongue, تلك الغرانيق العلا الشفاعة منهم ترتجى. These are the exalted crane bird idols, and their intercession is hoped for. The satanic verses, this part here, on the tongue of the prophet. Okay, and the chain of narration is authentic. Now, Imam, the writer of the book, Imam al-Haythami, he doubles it down, and guess what he says? And he says, not this report, because this report is authentic, but he says, وَقَدْ تَقَدَّمْ حَدِيث mursal, and a mursal hadith was reported for the same chapter, Surah Al-Hajj, chapter 22, longer than this one here on top, but that one is da'if or in chain. So this one is authentic about Ibn Abbas, but another chain, it was mursal, and it was da'if in the chain of narration. Not this one. This one is sahih. So yes, Ibn Abbas, his report is authentic. There you go, guys. Boom shakalaka. Thank you, James, for having us, brother. God bless you. See you very soon again. God bless you, Chad.
God bless. So, guys, I'm going to end. Of course, as always, we're going to go back to the Psalms. Just let me just make this. Okay. Why ain't that happening? So again, I hope that this was a topic that you guys enjoyed. We've done it twice. I've got to read the super chat. This is from Jane Miller. Jane Miller did say something about the Muslims at her work, says that, Islam is peace, but we know that that's a lie. That's a lie. But Jane Miller sent a beautiful super chat, and she said, James, you are the best South African that has ever been born, ever walked the earth, ever lived. You are the greatest and the best. Okay, I'm joking. She didn't say any of that. She just sent a super sticker. But God bless you. Thank you, Jane Miller. And the currency in South Africa is Rand. For those that are asking, they use Rand in South Africa. With regards to this topic, guys, I pray and I hope that we've learned something new. Hang on a second. Let me see now. You can never get rid of these people. What's up? And thank you. You know what you got me done now? You got me addicted to that site. I'm not done yet. You got me addicted to that site.
It's a good site.
Nah, man, I've been playing with that today.
Yeah. And I'm not done. Okay, because I'm working on and piano one. That one's hard. That one is tricky to get the sound just right. But I'm trying to do that. And then, did I send you the other one that you said was influenced? The Black Mambazo? Did I send you that? Or I didn't send you
Black Lady Smith Black Mambazo.
Yeah. Did I send you the sound for that one? I was sleepy. I fell asleep in the middle of sending the email. I woke up to it still sitting in the screen.
No, I'll get that. I haven't seen it yet. I mean,
Okay, that's like good. I'm gonna upgrade so I can do my actual my voice.
Okay, Ali Apologetics says to tell you that he says God bless you.
Oh, God bless, bro. He always tell me God bless. He's so nice. But yeah, just so you like them? They really dope. They dope.
Yeah, you and a guy called Dude for Christ, man, the two of you done something, and then now I've been trying it because I didn't know it was a free site. I didn't know where to go.
The best one is paid for. I use the paid version, or else it sounds a lot generic.
Okay.
So mine is the paid version. I mean, you can still do good songs without the paid version, but I prefer the paid version.
Yeah, guys,
So-
we're just talking about songs and music and trying to make stuff. Actually, before we end today, I'm going to play you guys a few that I made, or in fact, that Banku made for me and Dude as well. So you guys
You
are
were
gonna
doing
get
for
some-
Christ some tips. I was like, bro, this is how you gotta do it. This is how you gotta do it when you put it in the system. Because it's like you gotta maneuver it a lot. You know what I mean?
That's right. All right. Do you want to add anything? Best to go.
Oh, that's it. That's it. I just wanted to tell you that. I gotta send the other last emails. That's it.
No worries, but I'm going to play a couple now before we end, so people can just listen to it.
Okay.
That's right. And I've done a couple of Arabic ones as well for me.
Oh, nice. Nice. Make sure it's translated correctly.
No, don't you worry about that. No, it's in English. It's in English. It's in English.
Okay. I'm a job because you know.
Okay, let's get back to the Psalm. Today we're on Psalm 50. We're on Psalm 50 today, ladies and gentlemen. And after that, we're gonna play. I'll play you guys one or two things. In fact, let me do this now. Let me. Alrighty. Let's get to the Psalm 50 today. And I get a lot of messages now from people saying that they're happy that I'll be doing the Psalms. So God bless you. For those that are not following, it's the Agents 007 on YouTube, the Agents 007. For those that have bought me a coffee, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. I appreciate it. Dude for Christ, Grafted says, played that song for me, lol, it's dope. So, you guys are amazing, and I appreciate you guys more than you'll ever know. With that said, let us go now to Psalm 50. And it says, the mighty one, God the Lord, speaks and summons the earth from the rising of the sun to its setting. Out of Zion, the perfection of beauty, God shines forth. Our God comes, he does not keep silence. Before him is a devouring fire. Around him, a mighty tempest. He calls to the heavens above and to the earth that he may judge his people. Gather to me, my faithful ones, who made a covenant with me by sacrifice. The heavens declare his righteousness, for God himself is judge. Hear, O people, and I will speak, O Israel. I will testify against you. I am God, your God. Not for the sacrifices do I rebuke you. Your burnt offerings are continually before me. I will not accept a bull from your house or goats from your folds, for every beast of the fold is mine, the cattle on 1,000 hills. I know all the birds of the hills, and all the moves in the fields is mine. If I were hungry, I would not tell you, for the world and its fullness are mine. Do I eat the flesh of bulls or drink the blood of goats? Offer to God a sacrifice of thanksgiving, and perform your vows to the Most High, and call upon me in the day of trouble. I will deliver you, and you shall glorify me. But to the wicked, God says, what right have you to recite my statuses, or take my covenant on your lips? For you hate discipline, and you cast my words behind you. If you see a thief, and you are pleased with him, and you keep company with the adulterers, you give your mouth free rein for evil, and your tongue frames deceit. You sit and speak against your brother. You slander your own mother's son. These things you have done, and I have been silent. You thought that I was one like yourself, but now I rebuke you and lay the charge before you. Mark this then, you who forget God, lest I tear you apart
and there be none to deliver. The one who offers thanksgiving as his sacrifice glorifies me. To one who orders his way rightly, I will show the salvation of God. Amen to that. Amen to that. Well. So, check this out.
They call me James, I reduce them to stutters. All of you lying abusers. I come with truth and the proof you discover, and I'll give it to you. Then you get to run it like boom shakalaka. You get to run it like boom shakalaka. You get to run it. You get to run it like boom shakalaka. You get to run it like I just asked questions and you go. I could refute you, but you don't need help. I set you up to say truth from your mouth. You get proof when you shout that your fruit isn't doubt. If you truly devout, why you lying so much? I don't hide in the cut. I be firing you up. You thinking you sharp, but I'm lining you up. Bro, you won't scare me. Stop trying to be tough. Y'all never focus. Redemption seems hopeless. That energy soulless, and everyone knows this. We level these cobras, cause heaven and soldiers that never give over. The mental controller, we over your head, cause you don't know the spirit. Y'all go to Mecca to hope for forgiveness. How you atone by a stone when you kiss it? Next person words, bro, you don't wanna miss it. They call me James, I reduce them to studies. All of you lying abusers get honey. I come with truth and the proof you discover, and I give it to you. Then you get to run it like boom shakalaka.
Okay, that was the one, but again, there's a couple of these over here that I didn't have. I couldn't have the entire song because I'm not a paying person. But I want to find the Arabic one for you guys. Let me see if it's this one. And maybe it may not. And guys, we're done for today. So I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much. Let's try this one.
They call me James, I reduce and the stutters. All of you lying abusers, get on it. I come with truth and the proof you discover, and I'll give it to you. Then you get to run it like boom shakala. 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 You get to run it like. I just ask questions and you cold. I can refute you, but you don't need help. I set you up to say truth from your mouth. You get proof when you shout that your fruit isn't doubt. If you're truly devout, why you lying so much? I don't hide in the cut. I be firing you up. You thinking you sharp, but I'm lining you up. Bro, you won't scare me. Stop trying to be tough. Y'all never focus. When energy's hopeless, that energy's soulless, and everyone knows this. We level these copers, cause having that soldier that never give over. The mental controller, we over your head cause you don't know the spirit. Y'all go to make it a hope for forgiveness. How you would throw my stone when you kiss it. That's just work, but you don't want to miss it. They call me giants and they lose and the studies. All of you lying abusers get honey. I come with truth and the proof you discover, and I give it to you. Then you get to run it like boom shakara. 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 You're running like you wanna cry and then bring out the ever rap. I'm turn arrogance in them embarrassment and having access to all of your scholars and internet transfers to heaven before us. They get this book as Christians and serum that give us the language like simple example. Knowing I argue on lyrics will thank you. Then I'ma hit you from biblical angles. The fact that you think that as Christians are weak is exactly the reason you give us this beef. But track how you want, but you get in this kick and I won't let your energy God into me. Remember to see we will free Palestine. Cause they finna see when we tell them you're lying. As Christians will pull them up out of the fire. Who did it? Just tell them the line shooter. They call me Giants, let me use and the studies. All of you lying abusers get honey. I come with truth and the proof you discover, and I give it to you. Then you get to run it like boom shakalaka. You get to run it like boom shakalaka. You get to run. We wanna end this cause we know you finished. Yeah, Islam been cooked ever since the beginning. Yeah, torture and trailery. Know we make forbidden force and the hatred. The satanic system, your wisdom is tainted, and you say corrupt. And when you get stuck in the making it up is amazing. You trust in the book of carnality, brazenly coming up, pushing your fallacies. How can we ever come to an agreement? You bring your fables, I'm coming with reason. Y'all got it love, then he must be a being. See, y'all got it love because he ain't Jesus. Keep it 100, no need to explode. Growing yourself so that peace can unfold. We can fight demons that's deep in your soul, and we try to lead you to freedom to grow. They call me James, I reduce and the stutters. All of you lying and abusers get honest. I come with truth and the proof you discover, and I give it to you. Then you get to run it like boom shakalaka. You get to run.
I mean, I like that one. Love that one. But again, I want to find the one that Bunko also gave me. Man, I like that one. That one's wicked. That one's good. That was good. Is it the same one? No. Oh, sorry, 1 second. Okay, then we've got these over here. I like this, but it's a bit slow. It's a bit slow, but it's good.
Call me James. Say his name, I reduce them to stutters, tongues trembling. All you liars get booted and running, no running. Truth gon' catch you. I come with truth and the proof you require. And I'll give it to
See, I like that, but you're right. It is a slow one. It's a tad too slow. It's a tad too slow, but I do like it. You know, it's like chill if you're sitting down, but to play it like on a live or something, you know. Again, this is the Motown. I love me some Motown, man. But it is slow. Motown is slow, but you know.
the light gon' find you. They call me James. Say his name. I reduce them to status. Tongues trembling. All of you liars. Get a booty and honey. No running. Truth gon' catch ya. I come with truth. Truth and the proof you require. And I'll give it to you and you will discover. You gon' see. Shake the room. Let the truth fall. Let the light burn. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. I just did this. I'm still tweaking, but let me see.
Well, I can do already.
And tambourine. I've got the hits on microbeat.
Oh yeah.
That's like myself.
That's a
still
good
working
African
on.
beat. That's a good African beat.
But I'm still working on. You see how it's saying stuff? It's putting my song instructions in the actual lyrics, which I don't get. So I'm trying to figure that out. But it got the, and I just did it. So I didn't even listen to it yet. I just came up here and like, let me just play it. I didn't even listen. This is the first time I'm here, the first time I'm here.
But let me play this one for you. Watch this. Listen to this one.
Yeah. Get in there. Crowd hush quick.
Oh yeah, he said that one. I like that.
Bible in his backpack, snapback, notebook, fact stack, James stepping. Peace, y'all. Chairs start creaking, pride starts shrinking, walls fall. Boom, shakalaka. When James walks in, every lie gets scattered. Boom, shakalaka. One soft question, whole script sound shattered. Boom, shakalaka. They trip on on their words, start looking backwards. Truth in the room and the crowd turn past tense.
This is like Run DMC.
Truth in the room and the crowd turn past tense. Tell me what you believe. He chill, lean back, let him weave. They brag, they bluff, they flex. One come, why? And they lose their step. Trumpets blaze like a warning sign. I start darting down the line. Every fake claim start melting slow. Every slick tongue run out of road. Bold on the mic with the logic. It's just not just the floor spin. Loud dudes crumble when the cross gets raised. Whole room silent, hit a heartbeats change. Boom, shakalaka. When James walks in, every lie gets scattered. Boom, shakalaka. One song question, whole script sounding shattered. Boom, shakalaka. They trip on their words, start looking backwards. Boom, shakalaka.
And then I got one more, guys. I apologize. You know, you guys are more than welcome to stay and listen. But that was from Dude for Christ. And here's the one that, yeah, I think you sent this one, I think.
I sent the Motown flow ones of 1950s.
Yeah, this one. No.
Can I lie?
The truth cannot lie.
The light gon' find you. It always finds you. They call me James. James. Say his name.
But I think if I'm honest, I think the best ones are those that are a bit like, you know, with a bit of rap, with like, you know, DMC. I'm a Tupac. Tupac is my go-to, and I'm.
Oh,
in a
why
good
you
mood,
ain't
a bad
told me
mood.
yet? You said 1950s Motown, and
What?
then you sent me a song.
No, because I tell you why. It's because there's this guy on Insta that keeps taking all this music and it sounds so good, but it's slow. It's not as catchy. It's good vibes. But I realized after you made it, it's not as catchy. As you know, it doesn't get you. So like with my normal with my normal one, the normal boom shakalaka ones that I have, you'll notice that that's also, you know, this one.
They call me James, I reduce them to stutters.
See, this is like,
all of you lying abusers get hurt. I come with truth and the proof you discover, and I'll give it to you, then you get to running like boom shakalaka. You get to running like boom shakalaka.
Yeah,
that's like bang.
Bet. I'm gonna do two. After I do the NPN, I'm gonna do the other one.
Yeah, man. Listen, I'm a Tupac fan, so you can make Tupac, or you know, I would say, I want to ever work with someone like Snoop Dogg's voice. I don't know how these things work, but guys, I just want to say thank you so much for today. I hope we learned something new today. I'm gonna have to try to find a new topic tomorrow. I think we've exhausted this. I pray that there's lots of people that have listened, paid attention to these topics. For all the likes, the shares, the all you guys, man, God bless you. For the super chats and all the gifts that you guys have given, again, God bless you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Also for the coffees and stuff. I don't reply because when you buy the coffee, it actually gives you an email address. I don't reply to the emails. I respect you guys' privacy that you've sent it to me. So I'm not trying to, hey, let's be buddies and, you know, ask for more. I just say thank you for whatever you've done. Keep me in your prayers, guys. Again, you know, we don't know what's going on in someone else's mind, heart, and life. So keep me in your prayers and I keep you in my prayers. Just remember, as always, remove the hate, the pride, and the ego. Let's humble ourselves. Let's put Christ first. Remember that we don't hate Muslims. Please, if you think we hate them, we don't. And if you're one of those that hate Muslims, there's no need to. We need to love them for who they are. And we just have to pray for them and hope that eventually they will turn away from their evil ways and come to Christ. We can't blame them because a lot of them are married. Notice the guy I spoke to either yesterday or the day before. I hit the nail on the head when I said you became a Muslim because you married a Muslim woman. So again, people are converting or becoming Muslim not because of the love of Allah and Muhammad. It's because of a woman, and it grows fast because of childbirth. No one decides to become a Muslim or follow Islam because they know what Islam does. But as always, guys, we will be back again tomorrow. Let me just double check. Yes, tomorrow is Wednesday. So we're good. God bless you guys. And let me see. Free Will 007 Free Will. We just did Free Will a couple of days ago, didn't we? I think we did. I think we did Free Will. We can do Free Will again. I can do that again. I love that Free Will topic because, again, Muslims are so confused. They believe they have free will and then they don't have free will. It's like, make up your mind. I may do Free Will, but I might just, up the antics and see if I can find something else. So what I normally do is, guys, I'll give you a quick, I normally have like a lot of, so what I do is before I start, I'll have maybe 10 different tabs open with my references to go to on the hadiths and the Quran verses. And then after I'm done with it, I delete it all. And then I'm left with almost nothing on the computers. It's like a cleansing feeling. I cleanse myself of that topic and the rubbish that they brought. Keep Abbas in your prayers, guys, because Abbas is someone that doesn't seem to know Islam that well. He's a pick and choose guy, and those are the Muslims that we need to be careful of, because they pick and choose according to how they feel on that day, not because they know Islam. So just remember to keep them in your prayers. Understand that, these guys are lacking love, because there's no love in Islam. There's a relationship of having a slave-master relationship. And in a slave-master relationship, there is nothing. There's no relationship. There's just you there, I'm here. Red flag, you're right. I'm running from you. You seem to be too knowledgeable, and I fear you. So forgive me for running. It's, I just see you and I shudder. I get scared of you. Clip it. I'll say it again. Clip it. Hang on a second. Starting. Tell me when you're ready. Say ready, and then I'll start. I'll say it again. Beautiful. So there's a guy in the chat with a red flag. Apparently, I'm afraid of him and I'm running from him. I am afraid and I run from probably most Muslims, because all they have to do is say boom, and then something goes off and then there's mass destruction. So yes, every time I see a Muslim, I've got to be very careful about them, because I never know what they have in their backpacks. Take that to the bank. See if you got any interest on that. Take care, guys. God bless you and stay.